Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A radio star is born.
You're going to love
Talk Radio. Talk Radio.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Thank you, Ash. Ian Lee, Talk Radio. Flipping it. It is hot, guys. Huh? Who's up for a little bit of je ne sais quoi? It's 10 o'clock. Here's the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Here's a message from the Haters Club, dedicated to the one I love. I've been cursed by your wicked kiss. Once felt it's forever missed, forever missed. I'm a member of the Haters Club, and I'm hating every minute of me without you, you without me. Give me some of that misery, that misery. I'm a high hater. I run with the best like Darth Vader and the Witch of the West, poisoning apples to make you ill, like Cruella de Vil. I'll set you up for the kill. It's such a twisted state of bliss, indulging in such hatefulness. I just need a prequel to redeem my evil, 'cause I wasn't always like this, like this. Seeing couples hand in hand makes it hard for me to understand. Me without you, you without me. Give me some of that misery, that misery. I'm a high hater. I run with the best like Darth Vader and the Witch of the West, poisoning apples to make you ill, like Cruella de Vil. I'll set you up for the kill. I'm jinxed with the curse. I got nothing but bad luck. Could I be superstitious? Don't blink, cross my heart, hope to die. Why's your love so vicious, 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 vicious? I'm a high hater. I run with the best like Darth Vader and the Witch of the West, poisoning apples to make you ill, like Cruella de Vil. I'll set you up for the kill. Hater, I run with the best like Darth Vader and the Witch of the West, poisoning apples to make you ill, like Cruella de Vil. I'll set you up for the kill.
I tell you what I want. I know exactly what I need. I need, oh, do go away. I need a kettle drum. That's exactly what I need. Like a big, just thinking then, what is missing from my life? Kath, can we come and see if this fan is on? Because it is flipping hot in here, man. I mean, like, ridiculously hot. And I've got a headache already. That spells to me disaster. But non-disaster for you, because I've just taken a load of Nurofen. So in about 45 minutes, we're going tripping. Huh? A kettle drum is what is required. Just there, in the corner of the studio. Is there cool air coming out? All right, that'll do. Groovy, man, groovy. I haven't got any timpani. No! Boom, boom, boom. And you can have a pedal on it, so it goes boom, boom. That's what it does. That's exactly what it does. And that's what's needed here. 0844 499 1000. Good evening, this is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. It's a late-night phone-in show, unlike any other late-night phone-in show in the world. There may be a reason for that. We'll find out in the next set of listener figures. Coming up tonight, after 11, we have the Mayor of Uxbridge, Scott Balcony, is coming on to tell us about a song he wrote. And it's good, and we'll play it and stuff, and it's excellent. Some of you may know Scott from Twitter. So that's good. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Here's the thing we really need your help with this evening. On Monday, Catherine and I have to go and give a talk to some radio bigwigs. Imagine people who think they're so important that they label themselves as radio bigwigs. They may not label themselves as... Basically, there's a full day of people paying top dollar to go and see the makers and the shakers in the world of radio talk about what makes them make and what makes them shake. And Catherine and I are going to be doing a talk there about this show. And if I'm completely honest with you, dear listener, I haven't got a flipping clue what it is we can tell the people about the show. I don't quite know. It's weird, because we're inside the show, right? Because I'm inside the show, and Catherine is inside it to a bit, but slightly out of it, but still within inside. I don't know what we would say about it, or how we would describe it, or how we would sell it, or how we would go and say, well, this is what we are trying to achieve, and this is what has happened spontaneously, and this is kind of where we are and where we're hoping to go. So I kind of need your help on this one, really. And I know, we're not getting paid either. So you're not getting paid. We're not getting paid. No one's getting paid. Someone's getting paid. Oh, hang on a second. So I guess what I need from you, and I don't mean this in a blowing smoke up my anus way, which is how the Edwardians used to see if people was dead, the Victorians, the Stuarts. Very strange family. I'm glad when they moved. They would literally blow smoke up someone's anus. I can think of worse ways to spend a weekend if I'm completely honest about it. But I don't want you to go, hey, well, man, your show's great, man, and, we're loving the vibe. The bum bellows someone has used on Periscope. Yes, your actual bum bellows. You can, bellows for fires. I had bellows once, because when we moved into a flat that had a fire, we bought a nice coal scuttle and some bellows. You don't really need bellows. You can just waft it with a bit of newspaper. Or blow. But you can, that's a way of killing someone, isn't it? If you were to insert bellows up someone's anus, and I'm not even saying this as a joke, this is an actual real thing. And until someone calls in, I will continue to describe various ways of murdering people. If you were to insert the bellows, up someone's bunghole, and pump, it would kill them. That's an actual fact. I remember as a teenager learning another way of killing someone, but I can't say it because it's too rude. It's a really rude way of killing someone. It's a rude way of killing a woman. It involves, I don't know why we were talking about this. Does anyone else know? I don't want to say, because it's vulgar. It involves, okay, I can give you, 0844 499 1000. I can give you the ingredients for murdering a lady, but I'm not in any way, I don't even know how, I can understand why it would. It involves a bath, a bottle of champagne, and, you can kill a woman with that, apparently. Is that right? Well, that's 10 minutes of radio that we can play to the people next Monday at the radio festival. Me telling you how you can kill a man with bellows and giving you a vague insight as to how you can kill a woman with a bath and a bottle of champagne. But I don't think that's necessarily what they want. But yeah, the bellows. If it will kill someone because the stomach, I guess, is connected to the bunghole. And how accurate is that song, by the way? I mean, if you were like a doctor, if you're training to be a doctor, and you'd kind of not put in all the research that you needed to, and you were about to sit your medical exam, could you I mean, this is a serious question. How far could you get in the medical profession if you just knew all of the lyrics to Dem Bones, Dem Bones, Dem Dry Bones? Could you? You could you could vaguely bluff your way through something. Some of the doctors I've met, flipping heck, that they probably don't even know Dem Bones, Dem Bones, Dem Dry Bones. I told you once when we took my little boy to the GP. It's going to be one of those shows, by the way, guys. 0844 499 1000. We took my little boy to the GP. Now. I'm not a racist, but there's too many of them over here. No, that's racist. I'm not a racist, but I'm all for being able to understand what medical staff are saying. I just think that's kind of a given, right? And I can generally understand accents better than, for example, my mum could. Or certain people could. But this guy, right, I'm a white, middle-class, middle-aged, liberal lefty. I could not understand a word this doctor said. He had a very, very thick Indian accent. So thick that if I were to do it now, it would be, oh, goodness gracious me, it would be that. It would be that. Someone's calling in, but I'm on a roll now, so they're going to have to wait. 0844 499 1000 if you want to phone up and wait. We couldn't understand a word this guy was saying. And then to compound things, bearing in mind we're in there with our little boy who was, 18 months then? Wow, they were that small? He took a phone call while he was talking to us, and he was diagnosing someone on his mobile phone. And I bet they couldn't understand him. And we kept going, what? Sorry? What did you say? In the end, he said our boy was all right. There was nothing wrong with him. We didn't believe him. So we took him to A&E, and he was very seriously ill. The lesson there? I don't know. The lesson there is no lesson. It's going to be one of those shows, guys, tonight where there is no agenda. There is no, it would be very easy for me to sit down and the Great British Bake Off. Call me now. You know that someone somewhere will be doing an hour about the Great British Bake Off. I heard another presenter on another radio station, Iain Dale on LBC, do half an hour or flag up half an hour on Great British Bake Off, and he prefaced it by saying, "I've never watched it." But then why are you talking about it for? I've never watched it, so I'm not going to throw it out there. If you want to phone in, what the point I'm trying to make is, if you want to phone in about the Great British Bake Off, you can. But does anyone think it's a story about nothing? It's a story about Radio 4 on PM, the main news programme, got 10 minutes out of the Great British Bake Off. 10 flipping minutes. They had two experts in the studio. By experts, I mean posh twits who had their own production companies that would go and pitch TV shows. Ay, jeez. So what do you think about the Great British Bake Off going to Channel 4? Well, what do you think about Mel and Sue not going with it? Well, here's the thing, right? And one thing about the Great British Bake Off, which I've never seen, but if Paul Hollywood doesn't jump ship, won't we all think he's that slimy little SH1T we thought when he dumped his wife to go out with that Chinese girl from America? You remember that? He went out with a Chinese girl from... Oh, Paul Hollywood's big in America, so he's dumped his wife and he's gone out with a hot Asian girl. Oh, no, the career in Hollywood and America hasn't worked out. The Asian girl's dumped him and he's got to come back begging to his wife. And we kind of, at the time, we thought, yeah, chancer. SH1T. But she forgave him. And if his wife was able to forgive him, then I think us as a nation could forgive him. But if he jumps ship and follows the money to Channel 4, then I'm afraid he's back on I'm going to say it, the shitty scale. He's back there. He's back on there, I think. Julie, I'll come to you in a second. 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee
On air and off the leash.
on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0844 499 1000. The point I was trying to make, and we're all a little bit discombobulated, primarily because of the heat, primarily because I have a stinking headache, primarily because I've had a really, let's just say, not the best day. Shall we say that? Okay, good. So my head is a little bit all over the shop, but the point I'm trying to make is, you can call in about the Great British Bake Off, of course you can. But this isn't one of those shows where we sit here and go, well, this is what we're talking about tonight. Please call in about these things. It's a little bit more, it's significantly more freeform than that. I will sit here and I will chat nonsense, and I will talk about my day, and I will look through some of the papers and pick out some stories and stuff, and you can call in about literally anything you want. What have we discussed in the first 20 minutes? Great British Bake Off, which I didn't really want to talk about, but I found myself sucked into it, and murder. It's not a bad start for the show, is it? It's not a bad start for the show. Julie's on the line. Good evening, Julie.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Julie. Well done. We've been letting the hip, hip, hip slip, 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 and it's time to bring it back. So well done, Julie. Thank you.
You wanted people to call in to help you say what the show is all about.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the ident on the advert says it's intelligent, organic talking.
Well, that means literally nothing, doesn't it?
Right? But the only thing is, I can only tell you what it means to me.
Okay, go
and
on.
and because when I was on hold, the more I'm waiting there, the more I'm thinking what I'm going to say sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I don't care. For me, your show is a sanctuary from my life, but about life.
Oh.
So it's representative of everything in life. Sometimes it's sad and painful, and sometimes it's just silly and nice, and I enjoy all aspects of it because it's so varied. So you can have Nigel singing his Miley Cyrus, and then you can say about how you're feeling suicidal.
Yes.
And I enjoy is the wrong word, but I value all parts of it.
I get your me talking about feeling suicidal. That kills the vibe quite a bit sometimes. That vibe gets killed as soon as you bring up the S word.
But it's important because it's part of what other people, certainly what other people feel and experience, including myself. So I like it because it's representative of life, but actually away from my life.
I worry as well.
Did that make sense?
It did make sense, and I appreciate it. And I mentioned feeling suicidal yesterday after we talked about it on the show yesterday about the car crash. And I was thinking about that yesterday, and I worry that by me saying that, because I did genuinely, for half an hour, I lived in a world, right, on Thursday, where I was going to go home and get some rope and go to the woods. Genuinely lived in the world where that was going to happen, right? But I'm also aware that by talking about it in that way, that some people will not. This is really difficult to express, isn't it? That some people will think I'm talking about it in the sense that people go, "Oh, everything's so rubbish, I want to kill myself." Do you know what I mean? In that, when actually,
I do.
I wanted to kill myself.
I know, but conversely, there's a great amount of people like myself who, and I know exactly the place that you were at.
Yeah.
So I think for as much as you could say there's people who don't get it, there are the same amount, if not more people, who absolutely do get it and really value and appreciate honest talking about things which maybe are not comfortable. But yesterday there was also kind of talk about, there was the discussion with the, the missing boy.
The film who took Johnny, yeah.
Which was interesting to know, and I'd missed that because I've been away not listening to the show, and I really missed the show. So I've looked that up, and it was interesting and intelligent. But then there's the remix of you and the Miley Cyrus and Nige, and for me it just provides a mixture of what is essential about life. So it's messy, it's uncomfortable, it's funny, it's silly, but there's poignant parts, and that's how I feel about it.
Where have you been that meant you couldn't listen to us? What the hell's going on? What the hell is going on with you, Julie?
I know.
I thought we had a deal.
I know, we did.
No, I know.
So
No, I'm of course I'm teasing, but bloody hell, what was going on with you, woman?
I know, right?
It was. What was it? There was a day. It was a day this weekend, wasn't it? Was it World Suicide Prevention Day or something? And these days always make me feel a little bit. You know, we have a day, but I did think about getting someone on to kind of talk about it, and then I thought, oh no, that's a little bit. Because I struggle with days. You know, we get these days. It's World Asthma Day, and it's World Gay Day, and there's a
day for everything.
It's Cancer Week. It's Cancer Week, and when we were at BBC Local Radio, I remember it being wasn't Cancer Week. It was like, it wasn't Spina Bifida Week. It was something week, right? And they were like, well, on Monday we've been on. Let's say it was Cancer Week. I'm just trying to. No, it was Dementia Week. Dementia Week.
Uh-huh.
Well, on Monday we could get a nurse. You could get a nurse in on your show, and then Tuesday we've got a gentleman who's been diagnosed with dementia, and he could come in, but he has to have his wife in view, otherwise he starts to panic. And I was going, well,
but that's too gauche. That's exactly the same as saying Great British Bake Off. It doesn't matter whether the cause is valid or not. I far prefer for something to be mentioned, like when you got Matt Hagen and. Things like that. I'd much prefer it to not be that, because everyone else is going to be covering it. And that's why I said about it being a sanctuary, is because I don't want to hear about things that I can see anywhere else. I want it to be a slice of something
organic,
not on everything. Organic,
because you know here's the thing, right? You know, it's a lazy radio show. All right, let me rephrase that. I perceive it to be a lazy radio show if the presenter is getting a feature out of it being, you know, a National Blind and Deaf Dog Day, right? And also B, if they're going, well, did you know, on this day in 1736, the first ever pair of glasses was worn. It's absolutely right. So, send us your pictures of you wearing glasses. Hashtag Glasses Day. And the reason I consider that to be lazy, because there are magazines, actually I don't know if the magazine is still going, I know there was, but there are websites that you can subscribe to that will send you a long list every day on this day in history. Yeah. And also, so they'll be on this day in history, and they'll have like 20 things. They'll have celebrity birthdays, and they'll all that. I just think.
And also using the public saying, phone in with your hilarious glasses stories.
Yeah,
it's just.
What would your life be? Well, actually, you know, it's not a bad phone in. Phone in with your hilarious glasses story, or let us know what your life would be like without glasses.
And it is, but not on National Glasses Day.
I used to wear glasses, right? I've only ever half told this story. I'm going to full tell this story. I for a while went through a period of wearing glasses, right? When I was reading and watching telly and stuff, right? And here's the thing, Julie. Let's be honest, I may have in the past smoked a little bit of weed. I may have done that. Mm-hmm. As soon as I stopped, I don't do anything now. I don't drink or drug or anything like that. As soon as I stopped, I didn't need glasses anymore, and it was the most gutting thing. Because I tell you what, Julie, I look flipping hot with glasses. I look like really geeky, but like hot geek.
There is that obsession with when somebody's got glasses. You say to them, "Oh, can I try them on?" Because people like to try on accessories.
Everyone likes to try on everyone else's.
Everyone loves to try on the glasses.
Oh, you got new glasses. Can I have a go? What? Can I have a go? Well, you can, but the only thing I'll be able to see of you that's in focus is your eyes. Everything else is going to be blurry. Oh, I look good. But I do. I genuinely, and I kind of, and you should never wish an illness on anybody else or yourself. But I do sometimes wish that my eyes would go just a little bit, just enough that I needed glasses. Because seriously, I look
You know, you can get them with like clear.
Yeah,
lenses.
I know. And many years ago, I may have had clear glasses as well. When I was doing hypnotism and I wanted to look intelligent, I might have worn clear glasses. I couldn't possibly comment on that. But you know, but people know. Everyone knows it's clear glass. It's like when I'm watching a film. You know it's clear glass, and I do this a lot. If I'm watching a film and there's an actor who you don't normally see in glasses, I will look. Instead of watching the action, I will look through the glass of the glasses to catch the side of his cheek, or her cheek. You get female actors now.
Enlarged.
To see if it's enlarged. And if it's not, you go, well, that's just plain glass. And the whole film is ruined for me if there is an actor wearing plain glass. Makes me want to puke, Julie. Well, there we go. We turns out glasses are the hot topic.
Exactly right. I'm pleased I brought it up.
Thank you very much, Julie. You see? And that's the way it works. 0844 499 1000. It's a glasses special because on this day in 1737, the first ever pair of glasses were worn by a gentleman by the name of Lord Anthony Spectacle. And that's a true story. So call in with your glasses stories, please. 0844 499 1000. We call you back. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Now, 0844 499 1000, by the way, is the phone number. I suspect it's going to be quiet on the phones tonight, which is absolutely fine. It's the heat. It's the heat. It's the hottest day in September ever. That is a fact. That was on that was on Radio 4. It's the hottest September day ever. It's hotter. Now, let me get this right. It's hotter in London. I think this is the fact they gave out. It's hotter today in London than it's ever been in Scotland. I think that's what they said. And I remember listening to that on the radio going, oh, well, yeah. But that's a weird comparison. You might as, it's hotter on the sun today than it's ever been in Pakistan. So I don't know. But it's a really hot day. And the phones tend to go a little bit quiet when it's a hot day. That's fine, don't worry about that. That's when I earn my money. And I meant to bring these up, not all of them, because there's shed loads of them. But maybe I'll bring some up for tomorrow. Oh, by the way, Scroobius Pip is on the show next Wednesday. Weird Al Yankovic is coming on. We're going to pre-record it one day this week, so that'll probably be one day next week. Loads of guests coming on, including Scott Balcony after 11. I keep saying that as though that is someone. It's my mate Scott, but he's written a blinding song. But many of you will know that until recently I was a sceptic about everything. Well, I'm starting to bend. I am starting to bend and to open because I am now coming around to the idea that maybe there are other things that we... don't store it then. I'm coming around to the way of thinking that there may be other things to this universe of which we know very, very little. And to do this research, I recently bought, for about 25 quid, I bought 5 volumes, like in folders, 5 volumes of the Unexplained magazine from the early 80s. Remember that? Well, even better than that, last week, for £4.50 on eBay, I bought all of the Unexplained, 13 volumes of the Unexplained magazine. £4.50. And it's that big a pile. If you're watching on Periscope, it's that big a pile right up there. And I went and collected it today, so I had to drive to Croydon. Boy, oh boy. Now, this show is meant to be celebratory. And 0844 499 1000. Paul, Katia, I'll come to you in a second. It's meant to be celebratory and embracing everything. But there's very little to celebrate about Croydon. Hey! The Fairfield Halls, Croydon. That's nice. The rest of it, it's tough to find much to say celebratory about Croydon. And I grew up in Slough. Do you know what I mean? So I've seen some places. But I went to this very, very nice gentleman's house today in Croydon. And I collected 13 volumes, the entire run of the Unexplained magazine. And they're all in the boot of my car. And I tweeted a picture of them and said, best £4.50 I've ever spent. And about half a dozen people went, oh, I used to love their magazines. Particularly the bits about spontaneous human combustion. And that was 6 people went, oh, I had nightmares, the spontaneous human combustion. And I've not looked in there, but I remember it. The pictures of the leg, and the arms, and then the ashes where the torso would be. So tomorrow, if I can be bothered to go through those Unexplained magazines, we'll do a spontaneous human combustion special. You won't want to miss it. Now, as you know, I've recently sold a Mickey Dolenz spitting image latex head on eBay. And I sold it for a fraction of what I paid for it. But I sold it partly because it's falling apart, because it turns out latex, here's something for all you fetishists out there, latex breaks down. And once it starts breaking down, it breaks down quickly. And so I sold it because of that, and also to get a bit of room. But then the thing I've just bought takes up even more room than the thing I've sold to get a bit. My wife's going to kill me. My wife's going to kill me. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Paul's on the line. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Ian.
How you doing, Paul? You right?
I'm very well. I'm once again working away. It's the one night of the week that my wife won't kill me because I can ring you because I'm staying in an apartment and I'm nowhere near her. Oh. So I can listen to the whole show. It's delightful.
What do you? Is it your apartment? You own an extra apartment that's separate from your house?
No. I don't stay in hotels. I stay in apartments.
Oh. Well, hang on. What does that? Is that so? What? But that's like a posh hotel room.
Yeah. Well, it's a posh hotel room with the kitchen and everything built in, with a fridge and an oven, so you can cook your own food, listen to your own radio, do what you like. It's great. Have you not picked up on this? Every city in the UK has apartments now. For the same price as a hotel room, you can move into a house.
Whose house?
Okay, that's confusing. No, it's.
I'm not playing cute here. I genuinely don't know what you're talking about, and I do from time to time stay in hotels around every city in this country.
Are you kidding? Okay, so I no longer look for hotels when I go to stay, which I do most weeks.
Yeah.
But don't stay in hotels. Look for go on Booking.com or other blah 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 available. Don't look for hotels, filter it for apartments, and you can get an apartment room rather than a hotel room, which essentially gives you a one-bedroom flat for the night.
And how much dollar are you slapping down for that? How much dollar are you slapping down? How much dollar are you slapping down, Paul?
I don't wish to brag, but I'm currently looking over the skyline of Nottingham, and the princely sum of £125 has changed hands.
That's quite expensive. That's an expensive hotel room.
No, it's not. What hotels do you stay in?
I stay in absolute dives. Is that for one night?
That's why you... Yeah.
Oh, no, I would get very uncomfortable at spending more than £65 a night.
Yeah, but that's why you can afford to drive around in a Volkswagen Polo.
well, if they fix it, if they ever fix it. So I've got a hire car, right? Well, my car is being repaired. Although the accident was last Thursday.
Even get me started on this one. Jesus,
the accident was last Thursday, and the car's being collected.
Whoa, what accident?
Oh, I smashed my car up, mate.
Oh, yeah. You usually just dent it. What have you done this time?
Oh, I really went for it this time. I rammed into the back of a car. My fault totally. And what a lovely gentleman it was I rammed into the back of. But the accident was last Thursday. The car is being collected by the garage, the insurance company recommend, next Monday.
Which is helpful.
So I've had to hire a hire car until then. But the hire car I've got, right, it's a Renault, or as the congestion charge people say when you phone them up, a Renault. And it doesn't have keys. It has one of those cards. And
see, that's how you guys get around. You see, the rest of us used to have keys.
Well, yeah, no. Well, it's only when I bought this car about 3 months ago that I had a zapper to open the door. Up until then, I had to put the key in to turn it. But it doesn't have a key. It has a card, and you put this card in a slot, and then you press a start button, and you press the brake, and it starts the car up. It's like voodoo.
Yeah, but it's also... They've created a solution to a problem that didn't exist.
Yeah!
You used to do one motion, and now you have to do 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly!
That's not progress.
And of course, every time I get out of the car, I go for the key. It's not there. So I pull the card out. But pulling the card out doesn't stop the car. You've got to press the stop button. So I was in the house for an hour the other day, and I came back and the car was still going. It's ridiculous. Bloody Renaults.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm
Paul.
I'm glad I mentioned it.
Anyway, listen to your fancy 125 quid a night apartment. Yeah, go on.
Oh, come on. Where do you stay then for less than that?
Oh, I go on those websites where you can just click on the... I mean,
yeah, that's where I got this from.
I go on Expedia and go for... I mean, you can get a Premiere in for 65 quid.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
All I need is a bed and a shower. Bish, bishy, bashy, boshy. If there's a buffet breakfast, that's a bonus, but I'm not going to fuss about that.
Okay, well, I might get to the room slightly earlier in the day than you do, and need to do some work, and not want to go down to eat and just work. Yes.
Oh, I don't eat in the hotel. I will get. Quite often, the thing I love doing is getting a pizza delivered to the hotel.
Here we go. So what's a pizza cost?
Wow, there's a question. I know 12. Let's say 12. Let's say all in pizza
and delivered. I don't think so. Come on.
I can tell you exactly what it costs me.
Creeping up, Ian. Costs are creeping up.
I tell you what. If I get pizza and I get potato wedgies, it's about 21 quid.
It's not that extravagant, is it? No,
it's not. It's not. And if it's on a Tuesday, 2 for 1 Tuesday, then that's breakfast as well. You see, always thinking.
But what's breakfast?
Pizza. Cold pizza. If you've gone for a 2 for 1 Tuesday, cold pizza.
Okay, you win.
Yeah, I do win. I'm the best.
Hats off. Actually forgot why I rang as well now.
Well, Angelos, we've upset Angelos at Pithibamu. I don't know if you say his name. He's saying, I'll do his voice. Talking about motors and hotel rooms, for crying out loud. It's his voice. He's been trolling me. Him and Barry from Watford are going out on a tour, right? And from what I've heard, the rehearsals have been atrocious. And they keep begging me, Ian, please come and be our opening act. Please come and be our opening act and save us. Because the rehearsals are so poor, we need a strong opening act to give us every chance of success. And I keep saying, guys, if I'm free, I might pop along and help you out. But I'm a busy man. I've got a job.
Do you know what? You could give them some good advice to those guys.
Oh, good. Don't do a show. You're ex-pony.
Seriously, have they considered doing a podcast? Not individually, but together. That might get some listeners. You would know about that.
Yeah, I would know about that.
Some advice.
Guys, if you're not doing a podcast, they may be doing one together already. I don't know. I know very little about them.
I doubt it.
Do a podcast. There we go. Did we get to the point of your call, Paul?
I'm not sure we can now. I've actually written some notes down because as I said last week, I'm a pretty nervous caller.
Oh,
right. So you were talking about, and you've gone off on a hell of a rate tonight. This is lovely to hear.
Oh, really? Because in my head it sounds rubbish. I'm just, good. As long as you're enjoying it, that's the main thing.
I don't wish to exploit.
Beautiful. That was great. That was just for you periscopers. There we go.
Superb.
Isn't it feel naughty? Doesn't it feel naughty doing that?
No, because that's how I usually speak.
Oh, okay. In that case, well done for not swearing generally.
So you were talking about the Bake Off and how terrible it all is. I was listening to a mainstream radio show today, and this is getting back to your thing about how do you attract more listeners, blah 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 blah. That we talked about in the past. Somebody rang into a mainstream radio station, the brownest radio station that exists.
Yes.
It's gravy coloured today. And the lunchtime DJ actually said the words, somebody called in to say, I've had to pull over in tears to talk about the loss of Bake Off to the BBC and how this is. Yeah, so we're done. So all I'm thinking is, at that point, that DJ has nothing to say. So perhaps you could say, perhaps I can direct you to Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Yes.
Who can deal with your call more effectively.
Who can deal with
hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. Get a life. It's a TV programme that I've never seen. It's all a load of old. Well, you know, Jeremy Vine's a very nice guy. So
absolutely, I didn't say Jeremy Vine.
He is nice. Jeremy Vine's always been very bizarrely, Jeremy Vine is a fan of mine. Isn't that weird? I mean, he's always been very, very generous about me in my show. So I love that guy.
Well, I've done some things with Radio 2 in the past through Children in Need, and I think I may be the only person that has a Jeremy Vine on Vine.
There you go. You see.
But there you go. There's some magic.
Paul, I'm late for a break. Did we get that? Was the point?
No, that wasn't it.
Stay there. We'll come to you after this.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Paul!
Iain!
We've had someone phone in to complain about our conversation.
Yeah, that sounds fair enough.
Say hello to Angelos.
Oh, that's a dream come true.
Is it?
Hello, Angelos. How are you, pal?
Yeah, listen, mate. You ring up to talk about the price of hotel rooms?
No, not hotel rooms, no.
What was it then?
I don't stay in hotel rooms, Angelos.
Well, you're in a hotel room in Nottingham, isn't it?
No, I'm in an apartment. Get with the programme, pal. Come on.
What apartment?
An
What
apartment.
is it?
An
Do you
apartment.
own it?
No, I borrowed it for the night.
What are you doing in there?
What at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the moment I'm just gazing out the balcony view over the Nottingham skyline.
What, are you on holiday?
It does feel like that. It really does feel like that.
You go to Nottingham on your holiday and stay near the apartment?
Angelos, sorry, it sounds like you've got, I don't know, a sausage or something in your mouth.
I've got a sausage, actually, yes. I've got a very long one. Listen, mate.
Harry there?
No, he's not here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why, Angelos, are you looking for your mum? Is that why you're calling, Paul? Did you see if she's there?
I'm calling because I know she's there.
Angelos, your signal's breaking up. Your phone, what's going on? Your phone is breaking up.
Yeah, well, I'll break you up in a minute.
Hang on a minute, there's no need for violence. Hang on. No need for violence. We're having a little bit of banter about your mum and her part-time job.
Yeah, you've been trolling me.
I've not been trolling you, mate.
You've been trolling me big time, mate. You've been trolling me for 3 days while I've been trying to get my roulette system going. Right, you have been interrupting that and trolling me and putting me right off my stroke.
What roulette system is that?
I've been working on my roulette system.
Oh yeah, how's it going?
Probably up to about 23.
Oh, you think I'm going to tell you my roulette system?
Well, just explain the base. Don't give us the specifics, obviously. That would be crazy. But just give us the basics of how it works.
Well, you go in the roulette room, right, and you sit there.
You do what?
And you sit there and you get all your discs, okay? And then you sit there and then you watch the circle go around, right? And
the roulette wheel
on it.
The roulette wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the numbers on, and then there's the ball on it.
Yeah.
Right, and then the ball goes on them numbers, okay?
Yeah, I know how roulette works. I just wondered what your system was for getting money out of it.
I'm going to tell you it. Right.
You listening, Katya?
Yeah.
Okay, listen, Katya. Right, and then the ball goes on them numbers, right? And then you wait until a ball has gone on every number on the wheel, and that could take a few days, so you need to take some sandwiches, okay? Right? And then when there is one more number the ball hasn't been on, you just keep sticking your money on that number, and eventually it will come up, and you'll probably clean your house out.
What?
Hello, Katia.
Okay.
Did you?
Is he? Are you still there?
I'm still there. Are you still there, Angelos?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
And while I've been working that system out, you've been trolling me.
Yeah, well... here's the thing, right? And I don't understand this, Angelos, but this is the thing. When the ball, right?
Yeah. What, on the roulette? We're back on the roulette system.
When it lands in number 7, right?
Yes.
The next time you spin it, the chances of it landing on number 7...
Very slim.
Are exactly the same.
No, they won't, but as if it's going to land on 7 again.
It's exactly the same as the odds before it landed on that number 7.
No, it goes on another number.
Well,
there's loads of numbers on that wheel. It's not going to go on it again.
Well,
not for ages.
No, it doesn't take it in turns. So it
does. You go through all the numbers, and then you're left with one number that it ain't been on for ages, and then you stick all your money on that, and then eventually you'll have it off.
Huh? Okay. Have you ever been to a casino, Angelos?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been there.
And you've played roulette, yeah?
No, I don't play it. I'm working on my system. Not a mug.
How are rehearsals for the show going, Angelos? I've heard it's pretty hard work for the audience.
Yeah, it's dismal. It's like wading through treacle, really, at the moment.
And yet it's billed as a comedy show, isn't it?
It's a comedy show, yeah. But with a heavy bent on information as well. There'll be a lot of information there.
Right.
Because if we don't have like comedy to do, we'll just read out of books and stuff.
Yeah, and I spoke to Barry, and he basically said he's worried the whole thing's going to be a disaster, and he was begging me to come and open up some of the shows for you, be the opening act.
Yeah, I know. He said that. But he didn't know you'd been trolling me.
I've not. It's not. With fairness, in fairness, you sent me a picture on Twitter yesterday of a scrap of paper, and if anyone wants to see it, they go to my Twitter page. It's my background picture that says Iain Lee is a twat.
Yeah,
right.
That's right. Well, no, mate. I just found that in the road.
Oh, you just found it in the road, did you?
I found it in the road, yeah.
Right.
I found it in the road. And anybody could have written that.
Katia, yes, please do.
What's the difference between a twit and a twat?
Well, the difference is quite rude.
They're two different chocolate bars.
Chocolate bars?
So, Angelos, I will come and open up some of your shows for you.
What, the door?
But I want you to beg.
I'm not begging you.
I want you to beg for me to be the opening act for some of your shows.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Well, then I won't come and help you out, mate. I won't come and help those venues where the ticket sales have been sluggish, and people will sit through your treacle show, and you probably be suicides after it.
All right. Well, I know for a fact on them nights when the ticket sales are very sluggish, you've got nothing else to do.
Right.
So you might as well come down there.
Well, if you beg me, I will.
I'm not begging you. You'll have nothing else to do, and you'll go. All right, I'll go down there, and I'll do your dance or whatever it is you want to do.
So it is a dance, yeah. Street dance.
I know. I want you to do some magic as well.
Yeah, do some street dance and some magic. That's the act.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good.
Well,
That's
if you beg me, if you say,
I'm not begging you.
well, then I'm not doing it. I'll sit at home and watch.
Well, then I'm not begging
telly.
you.
Well, then I'm not doing it.
In that case, I'm not going to beg you for it.
In that case, this conversation is over, and I wish your tour the very best of luck because you're going to need it. Thanks for calling.
Before you go, who's your favourite actor?
Who's my favourite actor?
Yeah.
Michael Keaton. I thought he was brilliant in Multiplicity.
Oh, okay.
Why are you asking?
I don't know.
What? Who's your favourite actor?
She's James, I thought.
Who?
She's James.
Who?
She's James.
Sid Hans.
So she's James.
Sid Owen.
She's James.
Sid Hans.
No, she's James with a she's James.
Well, thanks for calling, Angelos.
Okay, bye.
I'm glad he's gone. There's always apologies for the bad language there. It just gets very tense. Katia.
Yeah, I thought you had lost it yesterday with the game. You should have told me that we were playing a game. I didn't know.
It was really obvious to anybody. Well, Gatford got it straight away,
Okay.
and he's not the sharpest lemon in the lemon tree.
No, you didn't warn us. No,
All right, Katia.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the news.
No.
When we come back,
We're
as
not
soon as
playing-
we come back, we're going to play the game, okay?
No.
Okay, as soon as we come back, bing, bang, bong, straight after the news, Katia and I are going to play the game, okay? Good.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A new kind of talk radio. We'll get you talking. Talk radio.
0844 499 1000. Katia, when we come back, we're playing a game. After that, we'll have Scott Balcony, who's written a brilliant song. And then after that, it's whatever you fancy. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. I'm Ian Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Ian Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
The time starts now. Katia, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
I don't want to play, though, but I am ready.
Do you not want to play?
I am ready, okay.
But do you not want... Seriously, do you not want to play?
I will play.
Okay. But you don't have to... If you don't want to, we can stop.
Let's play.
You want to play?
I do.
Okay, right. So you ready?
I am.
Okay, good. Now, yesterday you got upset because we were playing a game and you didn't realise... Have you never heard of this game before?
I had never.
Really?
That's the truth.
That's incredible, because it's one of the most famous games in the world.
Well, you have invented it.
Sorry?
You have invented the game.
No, Des O'Connor invented it.
Okay.
You know who Des O'Connor is?
I don't know who he is.
Really?
That's the truth.
Wowzers. Des O'Connor's a very tanned... I wonder, Des is still alive, I think. Scott, is Des still alive?
He is, yep. He's 73 now.
There we go. And he was married to Mel from...
Melanie Sykes.
Melanie Sykes. Do you know Melanie Sykes, Katia?
Mel C, the one from the Spice Girls.
No, because Mel C's last name begins with C, not S.
Oh, that's true.
So-
Melanie Kite.
Do you know her?
I heard of her.
You've heard of her?
I have.
Okay, well done. With Katia, well done. You made a minute. So that's how you play it. Did you enjoy that?
Well, I'm on the edge.
Were you nervous?
I was.
You can talk properly now.
Can I?
Yeah, you can.
Hello, Katia.
Hello, Scott. Hello. Well done on this.
Katia, are you excited to talk to Scott?
I'm excited to talk to Katia, my favourite caller.
No, she's not. Your favourite caller is Bill.
That's true.
I like Bill. Bill's good. I like his singing songs, but I think Katia has got stronger and stronger.
She really has come into her own, hasn't she?
She has come into her own, yeah.
Hey, Scott, are you on a speakerphone?
No, we always do this, and you always complain about the quality of my line.
The quality of your material, but never mind. Well, Katia, we're on to the special guest part of the
don't get rid of Katia. Get rid of me, and you talk to Katia, and I'll come back in a bit.
No.
Well, you stay there.
No.
No. Oh.
Don't go. You're saving the club.
No, I'll stay here, but you chat to Ian. I don't want to be rude.
Well, no, because it's the first time that I talk to you, and I always, I listen to James O'Brien.
Yeah, I'm always ringing James O'Brien.
And he tweets to you, and he does.
Oh, can we not? Let's not talk about that chancer because he's not here.
You were talking about James O'Brien over WhatsApp today, weren't you, Ian?
Were you?
Was I?
What were you saying about him again? I can't remember.
I said... Listen, you've already ruined the chances of me getting Cat Stevens on the show.
I feel terrible about that.
Yeah.
I genuinely... Because normally I'm quite... I'm quite... I play it cool, but I did... After that exchange, I did think, yeah, actually, that was...
That's going to... Catty, are you a fan of Cat Stevens? Bit the old Yusuf?
I don't know his songs.
I love my dog as much as I love you. I love my dog. My dog will always come through. You know that one?
That's the rubbish one.
I'll tell you the best Cat Stevens song ever.
Portobello Road.
No.
Yep.
No.
Father and Son. First cut is the deepest.
No. The best Cat Stevens song, and he doesn't play it anymore, and it's a shame, right? Hang on a minute. Who's drinking?
Me.
Yeah, it's a very loud swallow. Here we go. Listen to this. This is... Oh, not this, because this is a live version. Go on it live.
Jesus.
Listen to this. This is the best Cat Stevens song ever. Listen. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah. Matthew and Son.
Matthew and Son. Listen to the drum. Here comes the drum. Ready? Here we go. Oh, no, it's the bass. Up at 8, you can't be late for Matthew and Son, 'cause he won't horns. Sexy horns. Then run down to platform 1, 'cause everyday life is so boring. Comes the drum. You don't know that song, Katya?
I heard it on Spaced.
You heard it on Spaced?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
It's a rubbish one, Katya. Don't listen to him.
Anyway, Katya.
What's happening?
I'm going to cut you off.
Okay.
There we go. So, it's special guests time.
I wish you hadn't cut Katya off now. You made me feel awful.
Well, you should. She's here illegally, so we can't condone people climbing in the back of vans,
claiming our benefits.
Coming over here, claiming our benefits, marrying our people called Roger, and stealing our gun engraving jobs. There is a gun engraver, drunk.
Yeah.
Cursing at that. Scott Balcony!
First time caller, long time listener.
That makes me uncomfortable, because it should be long time listener, first time caller is the correct order of things.
Well, I've been listening for ages, but this is the first time I've called on this show.
Okay, so you're long time listener.
Long time.
First time caller.
Yes.
So, now this is very exciting. For those who don't know, you are quite often on Twitter, posting abuse, swear words.
I don't swear very often. I'm quite careful with that.
It's quite a bit of bad language.
It looks like I'm swearing, but I'm not swearing.
You post controversial quizzes.
Secret swearing.
Controversial quizzes.
Yeah.
And it's you're at Balcony Shirts, right?
Yes. I've got another quiz.
Oh yeah, go on.
What animal kicked a hole in Johnny Cash's tummy?
A cow.
No.
Horse.
Let's carry on, and we'll come back to it later.
All right, fine. If anyone knows, 08444991000. If you've got a question for the Mayor of
numbers
Uxbridge,
now, you will get through.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, you also run the brilliant Balcony Shirts, where you make funny T-shirts and stuff like that. You also design all of the record sleeves for my record label.
Yes, I'm proud of that.
But here's the thing. You've only gone and written...
I've written a hit song.
I was going to say that. You've only gone and written a really good song.
I know.
But it is genuinely, it's a brilliant song. And in fact,
it's one of the things when if you keep throwing a ball at a hole for long enough, eventually, and no matter how rubbish you are at throwing a ball in a hole, eventually it will go in.
What if the ball's too big for the hole?
Well, oh Jesus.
That's the thing, you see.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Well, I always think the ball is going to go in a hole at some point. That's it's a good
That's
philosophy.
optimism. That's a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about this song, because it's like a 150-year-old poem.
Okay, so I'm on Twitter and I'm always talking about Uxbridge and being an idiot. But about a year ago, Uxbridge Library went, look, Scott, we found this poem about Uxbridge.
Oh, yeah.
And it was written by this fella, and I'd never heard of him. No one had ever heard of him. But it's a poem about Uxbridge. And I thought, that's quite cool, because on the bottom of the poem it said, written in Windsor Street, which is where our shop is.
Yeah.
And it was written about St Margaret's Church, which is literally, I'm looking at it now, I'm actually literally looking at it now, across the road. And I thought, well, that's cool, he's written about that, and I'm standing here now, he was a shopkeeper. That's brilliant. But when I looked into it, this bloke was like a bit of a legend, and he's got loads of books out, and he's written loads of plays, and he's quite famous.
Well, who was he? Because I'd never heard of him.
He's called John Leno.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, how big are you on 1870s poets?
I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
Yeah, there you go. That's 2 Johnny Cash references in 5 minutes, so we're doing well.
It's unprecedented.
So I thought, well, this is brilliant, because he's like, this bloke's a dude. Yeah. He had a shop literally almost on top of my shop, like 2 doors down.
Yeah.
And he was a printer, which we're printers. He wrote songs out of his shop, and we write ridiculous songs out of his shop. And I thought, this is mad, so I'm going to do this poem again. I'll write this again, and we'll record it and all the rest of it. So we did it, and it sounds all right, because we've got some really good people on it. And it's like we've actually done quite a good job, Ian.
Wait, this is the thing, right? It doesn't just sound all right. It sounds flippant. It's brilliant.
Bless you,
it's genuinely brilliant. It's all rock and roll. Who's playing on it?
Well, I'm singing.
Yep.
And then there's Christopher Taylor, who was in one of the finest indie bands of the 90s, the New York City Backlash. He's on bass.
Yeah.
Then there's Lee Hegarty, who's in the Ruts. You know the Ruts? Like,
I don't know who the Ruts are.
Mad. You know, like Babylon's Burning. If you buy any CD, go into any shop, buy the greatest punk album in the world ever.
Yeah.
There'll be a Ruts song on there.
Okay.
And he's in them.
Okay, but he wasn't. He's not an original Rut.
Yeah, but we skip over that.
Okay, right, fine.
We skip over that. So he's in one of the biggest punk bands ever. So he's playing on it. Then Matt Allwright, your friend of mine.
Yes, from star of Watchdog.
Star of Watchdog, and like general, good guy.
Yeah.
Looking out for the little man.
Yep.
He's on it, and he's playing organ, Hammond organ. And then I think this is good. I recorded the bells actually playing off the church, and I've mixed them into the song as well. So it's
this is genuinely right. All joking aside, this is genuinely like a nice thing.
It's a nice thing
to do. Have you been in touch with any of this fella's family?
No, but I've been in touch with a vicar.
Oh,
I spoke to a vicar.
What did he say?
Well, he was really like a little bit. I'll be honest with you, Ian. I hope he's listening. A little bit arsey. And he was a bit.
Really? Why?
He was a bit. I was like, Can I record your bells? And I knew I didn't have to, because I'm on the flipping street. I can do whatever I like.
Yeah.
But I was just being nice. Oh, can I record your bells? They're nice. And he was like, oh, I have to see you, or hopefully we can do it.
What?
Anyway, now we've done it, and then I'm going to reveal a really exciting secret in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
But now we've done it, he's my best friend.
Oh.
He's like, oh, Scott, do you want to come over for tea? We can
that's how it starts. That's how it starts. That's how you join the cult of Christianity.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do it. I'm bowing down to God now.
Fair play. Shall we play it?
Do it.
All right, here we go. Do you want to introduce it?
Okay, this is the Balcony Shirts Band playing a song which was all the original lyrics from a 200-year-old poem by John Leno Bedford.
Here we go.
Coming in.
Bring it. No, hang on.
Oh, mate.
No, hang on.
You always ruin it for me, don't you?
No.
Make out you're my friend, but you just try
I'm
to
do
make me look stupid.
I'm not trying to make you look stupid. Hang on.
Yeah. Play the next one. Go on.
Okay.
Yeah. Coldplay. Yeah.
You can hear what we say on it.
No. Hang on a second. Oh, It's this one!
Hey!
Oh, no, it won't play. Hang on.
There's let me just say one thing.
Yeah?
There's there's monks chanting at the beginning. I wanted to get a children's choir in.
Yeah.
But after the vicar had been a bit moody, I didn't want to go in and say, can I get the children to sing? So we just did it ourselves.
Here we go. Oh, hang on. It's not playing. Here we go.
Surgical dirges that splurge for the sake of this heavenly spade they call rock and roll. In muesli, there's no muesli, anything that looks with signal and rice if it's pricey and haze is just icy. God rest their soul.
What years I squander from the first I wander from the gentle windings of the Coldstream shore. But we blossom burning and now I'm returning to the scenes I cherish in the days of yore. The steeple swinging and I heard the bell ringing and it felt like the magic of a silvery tone. But I can't for no bells, not even both bells, compared to Uxbridge on the river Cone. And I can't for no bells, not even both bells, compared to Uxbridge on the Cone. The bells surrounding are pleasant sounding, but no music ever works such spells. From the Cone on Uxbridge in my youth at Uxbridge, I've been filled with rapture by those old church bells. I heard a drink and he just got a date, but their music is a dismal groan. And those are Cowley where Doswell's Dowley, I'm not to Uxbridge on the river. And I can't find no bells, not even both bells, compared to Uxbridge on the Cone. The bells of Ivor aren't worth a fiver. Those are Simpson has so few charms for me. Well, I don't think there is rock there, and there's no sweet sound, and I just don't see. When it rains, Bruce and Margaret swing is feeling Johnny with the silvery tone. And those that stand well worth 50 per hand. Well, there is none like Uxbridge on the river Cone. I would heave a brick, and there are many, only 3 or 4. And those are Highland and Ira metal drill, and so haze and half will make a fierce
It goes all,
That ending's a bit of a row, isn't it?
Yeah, flipping
I'll
it.
have to remix it.
Oh, it's brilliant, man. It's just a bloke. It's a bloke dissing other towns' bells.
It's a bloke sticking the boot into some other chap's bell.
Can people buy it?
No, it's all for free. It's all on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
I've got to put a thing in now because if you search for the bells on Uxbridge,
yeah,
people have already started putting their own versions of it up.
Oh,
unbelievable!
What, covering your song?
Find our one.
Yeah.
So because the hits go to our thing, and then we make the 0.0001 cents from YouTube.
All right, well, tweet it. I'll retweet it at Balcony Shirts if people want to follow you. Nice one, Scott. It's brilliant, man.
Oh, thank you very much for having me on, and thank you very much. Love you, man.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. 0844 499 1000.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I swear to God, it is boiling in this studio. The sweat is dripping off me. On the plus side of things, I just got my pre-sale. Isn't it hot? Isn't it hot? Don't put it on fan. Put it on cool. Put it on cool. My pre-sale code for come in, because I ain't got no phone calls. I get the vibe. Here's the vibe I get, Catherine, at the moment. That there ain't no one listening to this. Genuinely, it's not me being down. I genuinely get the vibe that no one's listening to this, and part of me does wonder. There we go. There's cool air coming out.
Good.
I can feel that. Part of me does wonder. Apart from banking a very, very hefty cheque every month. Not very hefty, but it's more than
me.
Well, more than you, more than one should get for sitting in a hot room for 3 hours a night. I do wonder if anyone's listening. Beyond a small, kind of hardcore. I'll tell you what we'll do next week. We'll do a new callers night, one night next week. We'll do that because that's always a call to arms. But I do wonder if anybody's listening. I wonder what the point of this is. And the point of sitting here and doing this. If if a tree falls in a forest, does it make any noise? Well, yeah, of course it does. But there ain't no one there to hear it, and that's the important thing.
I think people are listening, but I think tonight they're just all a bit floppy.
Oh, I'm not worried about the lack. It's not because of the lack of calls. That's part of it, but that's not that's not the thing. I tell you what, Periscope packed in, right?
Yeah.
No one said anything. No one's gone. All the Periscope's packed in, and which kind of makes me think that just what is maybe the novelty of listening to that bloke that got sacked off the BBC for sticking up for the gays. Maybe that novelty is worn off, and maybe the novelty of something that is a little bit, that is significantly more freeform than, the stuff that I would consider to be tripe on the other stations. Maybe that novelty has worn off. Maybe there is a reason that people don't do shows like this very often. My kidneys, it's so hot. My kidneys are hurting.
Do you think they're melting?
That. Imagine that. My actual kidneys are throbbing with the heat of this room.
I think that you underestimate how funny you are just talking, so sometimes they don't want to phone in.
There's no vibe tonight.
There was. We were bouncing along for a while.
Well,
it was all quiet.
I would dispute. I would dispute that. But there's no vibe, and you know why there's no vibe. There's stuff going on and stuff that is kind of bigger than these four walls.
Yeah.
But which makes it hard to focus on doing the show and stuff. But I just wonder. What's the point of it all, man? What's the point of what is the point? Well, there's a very funny caller to Down the Line, and boy oh boy, I hope they bring back another series of that. It's an Indian caller.
Yeah, I know
What is
exactly.
point of Playground?
But didn't that guy become Citizen Khan?
Oh, is that him?
Yeah,
Adil Ray. Yeah, it could be, and he's very funny on that. He had a spin-off, the Citizen Khan show, which I think is atrocious, but people love it. It got 2 series. But he's very funny they're all funny in Down the Line. What's the point of voting? What is point of point? Mm-hmm. What is point of show? And what is the point of show? And here's what I'm thinking, right? In the early 1970s, the Beach Boys, I think they now say it was a joke, right? It was a passing comment. Maybe it was a passing comment. Maybe it was an actual possibility. But in the 70s, when they couldn't, sell more than 200 tickets to a show, it was talked about dropping the word boys from the act and becoming beach. Now, how hip and, it would have been awful.
Well, it sounds like a Mexican saying a very rude word.
Well, exactly. But part of me thinks, I do love playing alternate realities with bands. What if the Beach Boys had dropped the and boys from their name in 1971 and become Beach? What would their legacy be now? And part of me thinks maybe for a show like this, and here's forward thinking, guys. Here's forward thinking. because this is hard work. Doing this show for me is hard work, right? Much harder than it was at the BBC, because primarily there's more time to fill. The BBC, we could play records, and we had news every 15 minutes, and we had travel,
had to have items,
and we had to have items, and we had guests, and we had weather, and just the amount of time that I had to speak was significantly less, right? And if I was getting flustered, I'd go, "Oh, here's a record.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's the travel." And we'd do that. So doing what is pretty much, 3 solid hours of just sitting here and talking and generating, alchemy, turning, rubbish into gold is hard work. So here's my, and it would never happen, so don't worry, guys, but here's my thinking, because it's taxing on the old noddle.
Go on.
A month on and a month off. Month on, month off. Now, I would be up for that. Of course, you couldn't do that in radio because there'd be no consistency and the figures would be all over the shop. But I would happily do 4 weeks on and 4 weeks off.
Do you think you could pick it up after 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because after 4 weeks, I'd be chomping at the bit again. I'd be raring to go. I'd be enthused. And I tend to find after about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, I start flagging a bit, and then I'll have another wave of enthusiasm. Then we'll have something like Might Love or something, and it will carry itself. Enthusiasm was the wrong word, but we're a radical station, man, where anything can happen. And my agent was listening to this; he'd be going nuts. Don't worry, it's not going to happen. But a month on and a month off. And then there would be the rivalry as well between whoever it is that does that month,
Yeah, but the other thing is, right?
Yeah.
This thing that we're doing takes getting used to, right? So, and training the callers to be fluid and to.
But it's not all about callers. You keep going back to the callers.
No. But
what
I'm saying to you is but also training the listeners to just go with it.
But the listeners might be going with it. But I get the vibe, and now we'll get, we've got a couple of regular callers. Thank you, Pablo and Paul. I'll get to you in a minute. And people are just going, "Hey, I'm listening. Well, that's great. 9 people have tweeted me to say they're listening. 9 people, gosh. You kind of, I do go home some nights and think, hey, that was brilliant. We did something new and wonderful and original. It was fantastic, and it was great, and that's what it's all about. I go home more often going, well, I cashed a check there. That's the kind of that's not a good way to fall asleep.
No, I know. And I go home thinking, oh, he's not into it. What am I going to do? How can I help? How can I back him up? How can I change things?
It's not even being into it, because that sounds ungracious, because we're in a privileged position. It's just what is point of show? What is point of show?
Trying stuff out. We get to try stuff out here.
Yeah.
But if you're feeling flat anyway, it can seem more difficult.
Can't it just?
Yeah.
0844 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Paul's on the line. Good evening, Paul.
Regular caller, Paul, by the way.
Regular caller, Paul.
Regular caller until he gets dumped because Angelos has got something to say.
Oh, you've been on already, Paul. You can't come back on.
Oh, okay.
Go on, then. You can briefly, but I kind of sort of have a sort of rule that you can't come back on once you've been on. But you go on. Go on.
Right, okay.
Don't take it personally.
But if you dump somebody halfway through a more important call to somebody else,
well,
then,
these things happen. What was the point? What was the point that you didn't get to reach in your earlier call?
Well, now you make it really important. It isn't really.
Oh.
Okay, but no pressure. Right. Rugby.
Yes.
Do you have any involvement at all? Do you understand the game? Do you like the game? Do you have any opinion on it?
You can pass backwards.
That's very good.
And a try is worth 2 points.
Close.
3 points.
Good.
And that's all I know about it.
Okay. There's a bit of an internet sensation today of a huge fella who's 8 years old rampaging over some smaller fellows that are also 8 years old, and the internet's, Facebook has gone live with it, and it's awful. It's terrible. It's the worst thing ever.
Hang on, what is it? It's an 8-year-old thumping someone.
Yeah, well, no, he's literally rampaging. He's literally from one end of the pitch to the other, just walking over these kids, pushing them aside. Just it's like King Kong scoring a try over Lilliputians. Yes. It's terrible. I'm a youth chairman, and I probably shouldn't admit that right now, of a rugby club, and it's the worst thing that could happen to our game. Oh. Because it almost embodies what everybody assumes we want to see, and it's terrible. It's terrible.
What do why? Tell me why it's so terrible. Because he's so young.
No, because he's so dominant. Because he's so physical and so brutal, and the parents are laughing on the sidelines. And for me, my child's played rugby since he was 5 years old, and he's now 13, and it's been the best thing for him. You know, he ball boys. He's ball boyed for a premiership team. Yeah. He ball boys for his club team. He's part of a club. He's part of a community, and there's not many communities exist anymore.
But explain why this. I don't understand why this 8-year-old kid. And by the way, that's not the worst picture that Facebook have had up of kids recently. Re the 14-year-old Irish girl. But why is this? Why is this kid's? I don't understand why what you're describing. Having not seen the footage, why it's so bad.
Oh, this 8-year-old is disproportionately larger than all of his teammates, contemporaries. He's huge. He's like a 13-year-old.
But you don't want him to play with. You don't want him to play with 13-year-olds, do you?
No.
Well, who should he play with then?
Well, he should. So there are procedures in place in our country. The video isn't in our country, but in our country, there are procedures in place that he could play up.
You tie an arm behind his back.
No.
Is that what you do? You blindfold him. You put stones in his shoes.
Oh, steady on, Ian.
That would work. He sounds like a right thug. But then, well, how do you handicap him? And I use that term deliberately.
No, but you don't. And that's exactly it. You don't.
But then what do you do then? He's got to play with kids his own age.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Exactly that. You go through some procedures, and you play him up somewhere between where he is size-wise and where he is mentally, and you. But
what does that mean?
You position him there.
How old would he play?
If he's 8 and the size of a 13-year-old, he'd probably play around 11s.
But you can't have You can't have an 8-year-old playing with 11-year-olds, can you?
Why can't you?
Because there's a 3-year difference.
In mentality, yes, but in size, no. So you can manage it. If you saw the evidence that I'm talking about, this kid. Oh, don't do this, bloody... Would you let refugees live in your house with you? Don't do that to me.
No, I'm not doing that at all. I'm not doing it at all. But there is a huge difference between an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Yeah, there is.
And
this is
to put an 8-year-old suddenly in a team with a group, and I don't know what happens if I don't know, but to put an 8-year-old with a load of 11-year-olds, some kids would find that really intimidating.
And the language you use, it would be. You wouldn't suddenly put him in, you'd introduce him, and it would happily be introduced and managed. But it's a managed process in this country, wherever this video is from, I think it's American League, unbelievable. And he's just literally swatting them out of the way. So it's just, how old are your boys?
6 and 4. 6 and 4.
6 and 4. Have you considered getting them into rugby?
I'd rather they didn't.
Say yes.
No, I'd rather they didn't, because I think it's an awful sport, and I think I think it's quite dangerous. But they do a thing called they do like this thing called scrummies. That's what they do. A thing called scrummies, which I guess is a soft intro to rugby. But I'd rather they didn't.
What would you rather they do then? No, I'm not taking offence here. I get it. I get it that you don't want to play rugby.
I'd rather they didn't play rugby.
It's not a physical sport, and there is some physical. Yeah,
it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. No,
no, it is. Well, no. Hang on a minute. You can't say that rugby isn't dangerous. Have you not seen the size of some of those 8-year-olds?
You got the dump on.
No,
you knobhead.
Well, no, but wait a minute. You're just telling me about the giant 8-year-olds.
No, I'm just telling you how that wouldn't happen in England.
Right, but I'd rather my boys didn't play rugby. No,
that's fine. I get that. But what sport would you like them to play?
I don't. Well, I'm not really into sport, so I don't know. I mean, I was a sprinter. I'd like it. I don't care. Whatever makes them happy. And if they want to play rugby, I'm not going to stop them. But as a dad, I'd rather they didn't.
Okay, I get that.
I don't know where you're going with that point about what about them playing rugby.
Well, only because it was given my child as something going to 5 years old, and the community and the friends he's got now, and that's sort of where I'm going with that.
But you can get community and friends in loads, and that's brilliant. I'm not knocking you or your kids or anything like that, but you can get community and friends in loads of different activities. And I'd rather that it wasn't involved in rugby.
I'm just asking what the alternative might be, because.
Well, does there need to be an alternative? Books.
Doesn't qualify as a sport.
Why? But why do they have to be? Well, last time I checked, that kids didn't have to be into a sport.
Do you not think that's a good place for them to be? Seriously, now, okay, I'll get into this.
Well,
do you not think?
I am not into
them something.
Well,
that they don't get from a book.
I am not into sport, and I am okay.
That's fine.
I don't think you have to be into sport to be a well-rounded, healthy person.
Okay. Do you not think it would give them something, though? Do you not think they could contribute to something?
I'm not into sport. What am I lacking? Tell me what I'm lacking.
I don't know. You don't know.
Well, exactly. I don't
know you well enough.
Well, no, I'm not into sport, and as far as I'm aware, I'm not lacking anything.
Black eyes. Black eyes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not lacking I'm not lacking potential brain damage. I don't think you need to be into sport to be a well-rounded person.
No, I sort of agree with that, and I don't have an argument for that. I'll be honest with you.
Well, but then you're saying I'm not a well-rounded person. Explain to me how sport. What is lacking from my life because of sport? The lack of sport.
I didn't say that actually.
You just said.
No,
Paul. You just said I don't agree with that. So that the implication is, if you don't agree with that, then the people who don't have sport in their life are lacking something. So explain how that is.
Hang on. What did I say I didn't agree with? I don't think I did.
I said I don't think they will. I think you can be a well-rounded person without sport. You said I don't think I agree with that.
I disagree with that. I don't think I did say that, because I did actually question myself and say, do you know what? I don't know that I can disagree with that.
Well, then I must have misheard you. My apologies. I think you can.
I'm with you. I've not grown up with sport. I've moved into a sporting environment as a fat lad, and my son has benefited from it greatly. So I'm probably where you're coming from, although you're not a fat lad. So yeah.
Well, I'm getting there. But listen, my boys want to get into sport. My boys want to get into sport. Brilliant. And I will. Of course, I'll encourage it and I'll support it and all of that stuff. But I was never into sport, and I don't. I think sport's boring.
That's fair enough. I think I sort of went with you on that. I think I said I could see that point of view. But that wasn't why I came on. I came on to say that what I saw today going viral on Facebook was a very unhealthy view.
Let's find him and let's find him. Let's hunt him down. Let's hunt this child down and destroy him. Let's destroy him.
You're better off finding the adults stood around the pitch with a hard on.
Well, that would be that's an unfortunate turn of phrase. Thank you, Paul. 0844 499 1000.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0844 499 1000. Yes, Pablo.
How do?
I've got a pre-sale. I don't know what the term is. A pre-sale code to buy tickets before anyone else buys tickets, apart from the other people that also have this pre-sale code for when Cat Stevens tickets go on pre-sale tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Is he back to Cat Stevens? He's not Yusuf Islam.
It's the same fella.
I know it's the same fella. But I thought he'd professionally gone by that now.
It's the same fella. He does all the same songs. Shh. Don't tell anyone. He does all the same songs.
Well, I was just... Right, that's excellent. I mean, who doesn't like Cat Stevens?
Who doesn't like Cat Stevens? I got massively into Cat Stevens when I was living another life and was often away with the fairies. I came yay close to writing a book about Cat Stevens. I even went out I was living in Fantasyland, and I did all this research on it. I even went out a meeting at publishers about doing it. And then, then I realised, actually, that's a lot of work to write a book about Cat Stevens, so I didn't bother doing it. But I was that close. I think I was even on telly and I mentioned I was going to do it. God, what an idiot. What an idiot!
That's a verbal contract, surely.
It is, and it means one day I still have to do it.
You have to do it or they'll come get you.
Otherwise,
they'll come get your estate.
They'll come and get me. What you got for us, Pablo?
Well, not much. Just on the previous call, I'm not much one for sports, but I used to play rugby when I was younger, and when I was about 12 or 13, we used to play against a team where they had like a legitimate giant of a lad playing.
Yeah.
And the general team's tactic was to pass to this lad, and he would just plough through everybody. But on the whole kind of mentality versus size thing, if they ever lost a point, let alone lost a match, he would go to the sideline, cry his eyes out and hug his tiny father.
And that's why...
made to look even smaller by the size of his son.
And that's why, putting an 8-year-old with a group of 11-year-olds is a big deal, because that 3 years, it could be as almost 4-year difference, is about 30 years in kid years.
And equally, I think it kind of makes a mockery of the point of, it's all about the fun, because you're essentially utilising the size of the child to go, right, we're going to put him against bigger boys, and we're going to test his mettle, and then if he does well, we'll put him in the league team and all that sort of stuff. And
if my boys want to play rugby, I'll take them to rugby matches. Honestly, I'll do all of that stuff. But as a dad, I don't. My boys to me are still very young and still very precious, and the thought of them, jumping on each other. Well, actually, they jump on each other's heads anyway. So I don't. Maybe I should encourage them to go and do that. I had my youngest, the 4-year-old. As I came down the stairs after my afternoon doze, I heard him say to his mother, "Please don't tell Daddy." I walked in. I said, "Right, what don't you want to tell Daddy?" And he went, "I don't remember." I said, "Come and sit with me." And we have this thing. And the boys are brilliant with it at the moment, right? They will and ah about telling me stuff. And I say, "Look, you always know. I would rather the truth from you than a lie from you, and then having to find out, because your mum obviously knows, or I could phone up the teacher." So what happened at school today? And eventually it came out that there was a boy called Roy who was fighting, and there were 4 boys fighting, including this boy Roy. Yeah, didn't he? And my boy may have got involved in this fight and may have hit somebody.
He's a peacemaker. Sometimes you've got to throw down. You've got to throw some hopes.
And I was going, I was so surprised, and I was going, and and his face went bright red as he was telling me this. And I said, "Oh look, your face has gone bright red. You're telling me this, but I can tell that you're telling me the truth." And and he couldn't look me in the eye, and I kept saying, just look at me and tell me." And I was very calm. And I said, "Right. I'm really pleased you've told me. I'm really disappointed that you got into a fight, but I'm really pleased that you've told me, and I'm sure that you've learnt your lesson, and we're not going to have any Lego Star Wars until Saturday as a result of that fight, but I'm nice and calm because you told me the truth." And he then had to work out how many days it was till Saturday, and then he got upset when he realised Saturday is actually miles away. But we don't play Lego Star Wars in the week anyway. It's not any form of punishment, because there was no chance of him playing Lego Star Wars until Saturday anyway. So
that's the beauty of such things. You just put it out there, and then it becomes its own punishment.
Yeah.
It's a punishment of the mind more than anything else.
It's a punishment of the mind. And him sitting on my lap and looking at me and telling me what had happened, he obviously hated it. And I was very calm. I did some, what I call excellent dadding today. I was doing some excellent dadding. Anyway, Pablo, what have you got for us?
Well, my daughter's, she's like 3.5-ish now, and she's just got to the stage now where she'll blatantly lie about things, but she hasn't quite mastered the art of context or who's in the room or who's in the area.
Yep.
She'll just, if something happens, it's like, oh, who did that? It was Nana.
Oh.
Who apparently broke in. She's very light-footed. So it's possible.
It was Nana. Wow, one of them. How do you deal with that? How do you get the truth out of her?
We just break it down. We just go with the whole logic thing. There's only the three of us here. It wasn't Mammy. It wasn't me. And you were the only one in the room for those 5 seconds when my back was turned. It works out, but she's just a very defiant one, which is the problem.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself, when the boys do this quite a bit, when they do something that's really naughty, and you've got to tell them off, but actually inside I'm thinking, yeah, fair play, that was hilarious, but I've got to tell them off because I'm their dad.
My problem is with my daughter. She's very quick with you need to smile. I'll hug you to make you smile. Oh, and obviously she's constantly smiling, and of course she's a cute little devil.
Yes.
So I just break that corpse every single time. I just can't help myself.
But
unfortunately, that's kind of made me into what I didn't want to be, which was like the slightly shouty dad. So I have to get slightly shouty, to enforce a point. And I say, I don't like being shouty, Daddy. I'm only being shouty when you're naughty, and if you know not to be naughty.
See, I'm surprised myself. I don't go shouty. Okay, if they're making a lot of noise, and they've been told 5 or 6 times to stop making noise and stop fighting and stop grabbing each other's willies, then the shout will come out. But I do the thing my mum did. I go quiet. I do the.
Well, the quiet thing was always good. That's what my dad was a master of. He was very good at that. But to put it in a context, children of her exact age, they were all at a gymnastics class for the first time last Monday, and the teacher said, "Oh, everybody sit down and point your toes towards me." And everybody just sat down in uniform, except for my daughter, who just ran to the front and said, "Look at my toes, look at my toes," did all that dancing thing. And it kind of, obviously she's going into the nursery type thing now, so it's putting it into the whole kind of, oh, wait a minute, other people's children are slightly better behaved and seem to take instructions slightly better. So I don't know, I might get one of those shock collars. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's an idea. It's an idea.
Works for those devil dogs, apparently. I hear nothing bad happens with them.
Nothing happens with those devil dogs at all, no. Anything else, Pablo, before I move on?
Foodwatchfilmsby.com.
Sorry, beg your pardon?
I believe that was foodwatchfilmsby.com. Also available via Twitter at FTWFB Podcast.
Thank you very much indeed, madam. Christopher!
Hello!
Hello, Christopher.
So all these years when I've called you and all that, I don't think I've ever had a conversation with you, and there's probably a reason for that, about Twin Peaks. Do you, or have you ever watched Twin Peaks?
Oh, my relationship with Twin Peaks is a tough one.
Oh, yeah?
Many years ago, when I was going out with a young lady, I hadn't seen Twin Peaks. I mean, this was 14 years ago. 13, 14 years ago. And I hadn't seen Twin Peaks, and she was a fan of Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks wasn't on DVD. Then the first series came out on DVD. So I watched it. I devoured it, right? But you couldn't get the second series on DVD. Couldn't get it, because there was a rights issue, which has only recently been resolved, I think, in the last couple of years. I managed to track down a hooky version of Twin Peaks, a Spanish DVD set. And I watched it, and I got into it. And then Twin Peaks in the second series, does a weird thing. Let's say it's 16 episodes long, right?
Yeah.
They reveal who the murderer is in about episode 10. So you've got another 4, 5, 6 episodes to go. And as soon as I they revealed who the murderer was, I lost complete interest in it, and I never finished series 2.
See, a lot of people say that, and even the people that are making it said that was a mistake to do.
Yeah, I know.
But
So,
they were forced to do it.
Can you, spoiler alert, guys, can you tell me what happens in the last 4 or 5 episodes of series 2 of Twin Peaks?
So what happens is Cooper's old FBI.
Don't give me names. So I don't remember any of the names. Give me the actors' names or what they look like. So Kyle MacLachlan.
His partner his old partner in the FBI.
Yes.
Who'd gone kind of crazy, comes back basically to try and lure Carl MacLachlan into what's called the Black Lodge.
Oh, do you know what? Actually, I'm bored, and that I just got bored watching it. I tell you though, was there ever a sexier television character than the naughty girl in it? You know the one
Audrey
I mean.
Horne.
What was her name?
Audrey Horne, played by Sherilyn Fenn.
She was the one with the dark hair, wasn't she?
Yeah.
The one that smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oy. I mean, wow.
Definitely.
Too old now. I'm too old now because I think she was 18 or something in it. But boy, oh boy, has there ever been a sexier television character than that young minx?
Yeah. No, and I agree. The series went sort of off for a bit for a few episodes, but the last episode of the series is absolutely terrifying.
I might watch it on YouTube. They're bringing back a new series, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm a bit sceptical about that purely because, being an Arrested Development fan and what they did with that in the comeback series.
Oh, I enjoyed the comeback series of Arrested Development.
No, not at all.
When are they going to make a new series of Wild Palms? Do you remember that?
I've never heard of that.
Wild Palms, starring who's the rubbish Belushi that's still alive? Steve Belushi. Are you nuts? James Belushi or James Belushi.
Yeah.
And I think it was an Oliver Stone thing. Not Oliver Stone. It might have been Oliver Stone actually. And it was like sort of set in the future, and there was lots of holograms and stuff, and it was billed as the new Twin Peaks.
Really?
Yeah, and I was in my second year. I was in my second year of university. I think it was ultimately rubbish, though. Someone on Twitter will tell me if it's any good or not. Well, I'm glad we sorted that out.
Yeah, and also the Twin Peaks film, the film that they made that was a prequel to the series.
Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah. Again, genuinely.
No.
You watch horror movies and they're all like big.
Big.
What's the word I'm looking
knockers.
for? Like
boobies.
Well, they're trying to get you with like a big scare and like zombies and all
You've
the
got
rest of it.
15 seconds to finish this sentence.
What I'm saying is, Twin Peaks, the final episode in the film, are genuinely scary without all those big special effects.
Oh, thank you, Christopher. How can it be scary without the special effects? I live for the special effects.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A radio star is born.
You're going to love
Talk Radio. Talk Radio.
It's midnight. There's another hour to go. Happy Tree, you'll be up next. You could be after him. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio and this is the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
It's ringing in my heart, it's ringing in my head. Soft little lullaby, pretty little lullaby. I know this love is true, 'cause baby I got you. I see it in your eyes, will you be my Valentine? Yeah, we got a connection. You got my affection.
tread carefully, guys. You have to tread carefully. Because she swears. There's a picture of Elvis Presley's granddaughter in her pants in the papers. It's weird. That's a weird sentence, isn't it? Hey, do you want to see Elvis Presley's granddaughter in her pants and bra? Oh, yeah. They're not matching. You'd think with that kind of dough behind you, you'd be able to get matching pants. 0844 499 1000. Yes, Happy Tree.
Hello, is this the Iain Lee rugby hotline?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Well, actually, my dad was very into rugby. He was a rugby player for the opposite reason to the one that the original rugby caller made, because he said he was a fat bloke and got into rugby prison to get fit. And my dad had polio in the olden days, and he got himself fit to overcome that. And my mum fell for this hunky rugby player.
Oh.
And he became a rugby referee.
Did he ever put his testicles into a glass of brandy? I think that's a thing, isn't it, for rugby men?
Not in front of me. Anyway.
Okay. Okay.
Or maybe that's what he was doing.
Nah. Here's a phone. Here's a phone in. Hang on 1 second. If you ever put any of your genitals in brandy, I tell you why. Because David Niven he spins a good yarn in his book, The Moon's a Balloon. I tend to think about 40% of that book is true. The other 60% is a load of made-up old tosh. But it's made up brilliantly. And he tells a story about, for some reason, he's going skiing, and I don't know why he gets his penis out, but he gets frostbite David Niven gets frostbite in his penis, and that's the title of my autobiography. And he has to ski down a mountain, like, really quickly, and he rushes into a ski lodge and demands a glass of brandy, then gets his penis out and puts it in the brandy to stop stop his penis falling off. Now, that is it. If someone has got a copy of The Moon's a Balloon, which is a brilliant, brilliant book, and I haven't read it for years, I might have to read it again, and you can find that passage, 0844 499 1000, I would like to hear that. I'll find some appropriate music, and we can have that passage read out live on the air. Anyway, sorry, carry on, Happy Tree.
Wait, was he playing rugby at the time?
I don't think you can play rugby in the mountains. I could be wrong. Be wrong.
You make it more interesting. Yeah, because my dad used to then try and get us, me and my brother, to play rugby from a young age, and I just wasn't interested at all.
No.
He took me to Murrayfield, which is the ground in Edinburgh, and I've got childhood memories of the smell of, you know that, I don't know what it's called, the stuff that you put on muscles.
Deep heat.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I love that.
And he would take me into the dressing room, and first I thought, the communal bath, I'm thinking, I don't fancy this.
No.
And then the smell of this deep heat, and I was just like, you know what, Dad, I'm not really your rugby type.
I like the smell of deep heat. Once I had to do a little lartsy, a little scene from a thing, and at university, and it involved me putting a whole tube of deep heat into both legs. Ay, man alive! I'm still
a recreation of Withnail.
It was Withnail. And I can still now. I still don't need to wear pajama bottoms, because I still got heat coming off of my leg 25 years later after rubbing that stuff on. Man alive! It's incredible. What is deep heat made of? Like, is it fire paste? That's a silly question.
Well, it's like they have scoops on the roofs of houses, and when the sun sort of shades its skin.
That's where they get it from.
Yeah.
And they put it into a paste. Imagine, I bet some rugby people will have made a deep heat sandwich for someone. Yeah, have this, it's cream cheese. All right, yeah, Dairy. Oh, yeah, not Dairy. And that person died, and then the rugby man had to go to prison for murder. And when he was put in prison with all the real murders who shanked people and all of it and shivved people.
He what?
Shanked and shivved. And they go, hey, man, what are you in? Because it was an American prison. What are you in for, man? He said, I murdered someone. Oh, how did you murder them? So I put deep heat in a sandwich. And then he would become their biatch. And it was just awful, just awful, because it was not a tough way of killing someone.
Well, I had a good scam to get out of rugby at school.
Oh, yeah.
I had growing toenails. And so I spent PE, or most of the PE years, standing at the side of a wet, muddy field in the rain, under an umbrella, reading a book while everybody else was running around.
Sport was always cold and wet and muddy when I was a kid.
Britain, isn't it?
Always. But you don't see that now. I suppose, I remember football matches on the telly, everyone was really muddy. I suppose it's all fake grass now, isn't it? It's like the grass you get on the greengrocers. It's that plastic stuff. So it's not proper grass. No, I've got this right, haven't I? No football pitch now has real grass and real mud, I don't think.
Grass was a luxury. We were playing on those little red stones.
Oh, gravel. We used to play on gravel.
And then you'd fall over and it would go in your knee.
Oh, yeah. When we'd get up and we'd tough it out and we'd carry on. Hey, speaking of toughing it out and carrying it on, did you hear the who's that nurse? McCafferty, the one that got Ebola?
I don't know, McCafferty.
She's the one that got Ebola, right? And there's like a
during the Olympics?
No, she got Ebola. This is proper. And she's cured now, and then she got Ebola again, and then she's cured. They're having the Nursing and Midwifery Association, Pauline McCafferty, they're having her up in front of the Beak, claiming that, basically saying that she's a lazy liar. She's a lazy liar, and she lied about her temperature and stuff, and it's all over. And I'm listening to this on the radio thinking, this woman's a hero. What the heck? How has it gone so wrong that this woman, who is a hero, is up before, 2 years later, is up in front of the Midwifery Council for being a lazy liar?
But surely she has proof that she was ill from the...
Well, they first of all, they had 4 charges against her. They've dropped 2. But the charges basically were that she lied about her temperature when she came into Heathrow Airport after working a full shift in whatever African country it was, and then a huge long flight, and her being ill with Ebola. She forgot to tell them that when they took her temperature that she'd taken paracetamol, which reduces your temperature, and she'd forgot to tell them this, right? Because she had Ebola, and she probably wasn't thinking properly because she had Ebola and didn't realise she had Ebola. So in this flawed system at Heathrow Airport where they were taking people's temperatures, they took her temperature. It was all right. She didn't tell them that she'd taken paracetamol, which lowers your temperature. So they waved her through. So now the whole Nursing and Midwifery Council are having her up in front of the Beak saying, well, she's a dodgepot. She's a lazy dodgepot. And I'm thinking, no. And this has been dragging on for 2 years. No, they should be carrying this woman above their shoulders going, what a fine example of a human being who nearly died twice trying to save other people. She's a flipping hero. That's what they should be doing, Happy Tree.
But they don't have any painkillers in the jungle.
There we go, you said. I'm glad you agree with me on that. Honestly, I was listening to this today. It was on Radio 4. And I may have got some of the story wrong, but this is my understanding of it. And I don't know what it is. It is the Nursing and Midwifery Council, something like that. And they didn't want any journalists sitting in to report on the case. And there were 4 charges against her. They've dropped 2. But still, I'm listening to this. And this poor woman, she nearly died and stuff, like twice. And it was all trying to save other people. And she was ill when she came back, and she'd taken paracetamol and was ill and confused and forgot to say, oh, by the way, I've taken some paracetamol. And they're daring to put her in front of a tribunal. That's the word, not the Beak. A tribunal. They're daring to do that when they should be. She should be the poster girl for your caring nurses that will put their own lives at risk to try and save your lives and the lives of people in poor African countries who've got Ebola. I got quite angry listening to it and repeating it to you. 0844 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0844 499 1000. What a busy show we've had. We've talked about bells in Uxbridge. We've talked about rugby. We've talked about nurses and Ebola. We've asked, what is the point of doing this show, and is anybody actually listening? Yeah, it's been a pretty varied thing, man. If you want to take part, you're more than welcome to. Here every weekday, Monday till Friday, 10 o'clock at night till 1 in the morning. 0844 499 1000 is the phone number. We call you back. Jarvis!
Hello there, you all right?
I'm all right, Jarvis. What you got for us, boss?
Yeah, it's just been my birthday. It's just finished my birthday, and my girlfriend took me over to see Limmy live in Salford.
Oh, that was your birthday present?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Mate,
I tickets to go see Limmy.
I myself am deeply envious. What I was going to say, was it any good? Of course it was good. What was it? What happened?
It was absolutely fantastic. All the characters from the show he did, like all the ones I wanted to see, he did them all absolutely fantastically. And it was dead good. I think you really like it.
He's doing one in London this week, and of course I can't go because I'm doing this, and I took a night off last week.
Take it off, mate. Take it off and get it done off to
I'm tempted. Do you know what? I'm tempted, but I took a night off last week to go and see a band, and you
went up Liverpool, didn't you?
No, I took 2 nights off recently to see bands. Yeah, I went up to Liverpool and then I went and saw the Bare Naked Ladies last week. So I can't really do it again. We're now straight through till Christmas now. This is head down, straight through till Christmas.
You could make to him though, right? So he could come over and do it. Wasn't he doing a show in your house?
I think he was. I think he may have been winding me up. We're not mates. I spoke to him once on here, and every now and then he replies to me on Twitter, and I go, "Oh, Limmy replied to me."
But no, it was. I just thought I'd ring up and let you know it was dead good tonight.
You know what you thought you'd do, Jarvis? You thought you'd ring up and show off. That's what you were doing, Jarvis. Just admit it. There's no shame in it. Admit it, and that's fine. We don't do enough showing off.
I was sat near the back. I didn't see a lot. I had to rely on the big screens they had, so I can't show off that much.
Because he's playing Hammersmith Odeon down here, which is massive, and I do wonder about seeing comedy in anything bigger than a theatre.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've not seen comedy live that many times, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I was worried that it would get people out of the audience and pick on people and bring them out, like a lot of shows do.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He got people out of the audience, but it was totally up to them if they went or not. And I thought that was brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Rather than picking on people, you, come up here. Yeah. Oh, I'm picking on you, come up here. He was like, right, if you want to come up. If you don't,
He is,
and I thought that was fantastic.
He is a very gentle man, despite the harshness of, I was on heroin for 7 years.
Oh, she was there as well, yeah.
It's 5 years. What was it? I can't remember the line. It's such a long time.
I think it was 3 years on heroin and 5 years on methadone.
Oh, as if 5 years. I lost 5 years of my life to methadone. Was supposed to get me off the heroin. It's
absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. She looks hot, doesn't she? This is a true thing. She looks hot.
She was hotter on the telly, if I'm honest. Live with the stubble, I don't know if it were, but
yeah.
She was all right.
Oh, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Did you know you were going, or was it a surprise?
Yeah, it was kind of. I saw him a few months ago, to be fair. Oh, he's playing on my birthday. Don't get tickets for that. That's a birthday present. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, saw it and went over in the horrible weather.
Absolutely sorted. Absolutely.
I won't forget it. I bought his book as well. I've not read that yet.
Do you know what? You've just reminded me. I bought his book a while ago, and I've not got round to reading it. I've been saving up. I've just finished the Scroobius Pip book, which is excellent. And
I won't mind that.
It's good.
It's good, yeah.
He's coming on next Wednesday.
Oh, fantastic!
He's coming in for the first hour of the show, so hopefully we'll get Periscope up and running so people can watch it. But that's good. Yeah. But then I'm reading this really mean-spirited book about John Lennon. It's really mean, and I'm not sure if I can stick with it. It's got some interesting bits in it, but it's a bit mean.
Fascinating man, but it's a bit too meanness in the world. I don't like meanness, so I'll give that one a miss.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going back to it, but we'll see. Oh, nice one, Jarvis. Well, I'm glad you had a good night.
All right, Ian. Thank you very much, mate. You take care of yourself.
Thanks, man. Take care. Bye-bye. I myself, as I say again, I'm deeply envious. He went to see Limmy live. Imagine that. I don't understand how the Great British Bake Off is the front page news on The Sun, the Mirror, the Mail. It's on all of them. The Star. No, the Express has got diabetes, and a Royal Story, Royal TV. That Albert and the Victoria stuff. Bother with that. Oh no, my friend's in that. No, that looks like a really good programme. I hope you all watch that and make another series of it. But I don't understand. 0844 499 1000, by the way, is the phone number. I don't understand why the Great British Bake Off is such big news. Now, obviously, Mel and Sue, top points to them. They would obviously been offered top dollar, and I suspect they've been offered a very, very sweet package at the BBC. The BBC would have said, if you stay here, you can pretty much own the BBC. And also, history shows that leaving BBC television, it don't work. Let's run through them, shall we? Des Lynam didn't work. Morecambe and Wise didn't work. Them two from the One Show, whatever they... Can't even remember their names. The lady with the teeth and the boring man. It didn't work, and it was never going to work. And everybody suddenly just thinks, oh, they're taking the money. Oh, you miserable gits taking the money. Well, you would take the money. The only person it's kind of worked for is Susanna Reid. She's still doing all right. Do you remember there was about 6 months when the whole country and the whole press were totally against Susanna Reid, were totally going in for the kill on Susanna Reid. And I've got a soft spot for Susanna Reid because she was very kind to me ages ago. I remember ages and ages ago, for some reason, I think she may have worked with my wife at some point, but she got in touch with me on Facebook, and I was having a slow period work-wise, and she said, oh, there's this job that you might be up for. And I'd never met her or anything. I thought, oh, that's class, guys. That's class. And I think she's brilliant at what she does. But she's the only person I can think of, 0844 499 1000, that has made the leap from BBC to ITV and survived it. And, fair play, she has to work with Piers Morgan, so tough times. But Channel 4, I'm not. Channel 4 isn't aimed at me, is it? I'm a 43-year-old man, but the BBC had egg on its face. Last night, after Channel 4 swiped its biggest show, The Great British Bake Off. Makers, Love Productions. What else? Can we find what else Love Productions make before I slag them off, just in case there's any chance? But everybody's having a pop at Love Productions now, but... Well, they're a business, right? They were getting £5 million from the BBC for it. And Channel 4 said, we'll give you £25 million. Of course they're going to go there. 70% owned by Sky. Excellent organisation. Great move. Really good choice. Well done. I totally back it 100%. I back it 70%. 70% owned by Sky. So those guys know what they're doing. Makers Love Productions, who we love, said it was leaving the BBC after 7 years following a stalemate in negotiations over money. The news infuriated viewers and celebrity continued on page 4. When you say it infuriated celebrities, it means they did that thing where they go on Twitter to see what celebrities are saying. Oh, here we go, look, Danny Baker's in there. Love Productions are going to find that they are the least important ingredient in the Great British Bake Off brand. Nick Robinson, the BBC, the politics guy. Kirsty Allsop. And Lord, is Hollywood going to go? You look at Hollywood, I'm looking in his eyes now, and he does have the eyes of a killer. He does, doesn't he? He has the cold, ruthless eyes of, you can imagine being a business partner with him, and the business is, you've both worked bloody hard. You've put 15 years of hard graft into this business, right? And you've both bailed each other out at various points. It's been tough financially, and after 15 years, you're about to get sold for £100 million, right? And to celebrate, he takes you up on. You go up on the roof of like a really tall building with champagne. Okay, and he pours you a glass of champagne. He pours himself a glass of champagne, and he pushes you off the building and kills you. He's got those eyes. He's got those eyes. I'm not saying he has killed anybody, just for legal reasons. I'm sure that if Paul Hollywood does kill anybody, it won't look like a murder. He's a clever man. I'm saying he's a very, very clever man. And he would totally cover up any tracks. I'm not saying he has killed anybody, and I'm sure he never would. You know what I'm saying? But if he did, it would look like a really, really bad accident. Now, if Mary Berry won't stay, will she? Mary Berry won't stay. Hollywood would stay. Right. Berry won't stay. They'll be off. Surely the BBC will be on the phone to Mary Berry going, we'll give you the keys to Broadcasting House. They'll say to Hollywood, give you the keys to Television Centre, because no one uses Television Centre anymore. He'll rock up on a Monday. Guys. Meanwhile, Mel and Sue are off with Mary Berry making their own new TV show. The only thing, and this is like really geeky, right? The only thing that interests me about this story, right, is what there will be something in a contract somewhere that says the BBC can't make a similar programme, particularly with Mel and Sue and Mary Berry, so they couldn't go off and. I've solved it. You give the three of them Top Gear, ladies and gentlemen. Problem is, all of your problems are solved. You give the three of them Top Gear. I'm going to tweet that. I'm going to go and tweet that now, and I'll be the first person to tweet it.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I tweeted it, so it's my idea. I was the first person ever to tweet that, and if you find me any tweets that say that earlier on, well, you can shove them. Hannah!
Hello.
Hello, Hannah.
I'm just dropping in, really. I've not been listening tonight. I'm so sorry.
Oh, what's going on, guys? What have you been up to? What have you been doing that's been so exciting?
Well, quiz night.
Quiz night?
Yeah.
Oh. Where, just at home? Just at home, or in the pub, or what?
In the pub.
What was the name of your team?
Captain Corby.
What? Why are we called Captain? Oh, I got a bit windy, Pops. Why are you called Captain Corby?
Well, we actually live in Oundle, but Corby's sort of the next place to us, so we Captain Corby.
But doesn't anybody else from... You don't even live in Corby? And Corby's a place? There's so much I'm learning from this. You don't even live in Corby, and you're calling yourselves Captain Corby?
Well, because the DJ who does the quiz is from Corby, so we want extra points, you see. So, hopefully he'll give us an extra point if we say Corby.
Here's the thing I've learnt about quizzes. You get points for giving the correct answers.
Yeah.
Not by pretending you come from the same place as the person that hosts the quiz.
I know, but sometimes if you
No.
You never know.
I've hosted pub quizzes. Occasionally, around Christmas time, I occasionally get asked by companies and corporations and things to host pub quizzes. And it's weird because, when they're thinking, this bloke's a tosser.
Yeah.
I don't get why they're fun. Why is it fun?
Well, I sometimes learn things from it.
What did you learn tonight?
Well, who invented the toilet? Thomas Crapper. I didn't know that.
Well, I would have. I knew that. Tom. Everyone knows that. That's why it's called going for a crap.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Thomas Crapper.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And how much did you win?
We lost tonight. But normally we win the music quiz.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what do you win? What do you win for that?
Well, normally every team puts £2 in, and you win the money for the music quiz.
Oh, yeah.
And if you win the general knowledge, you get a round of drinks.
Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. You've a round of drinks and money in a pot. Yeah, I'll have that. I'll have some of that.
Yeah.
I could come down as your ringer. I could be your ringer. What's a
ringer?
What?
What's a ringer?
You don't flipping heck. You don't know about crappers. You don't know about ringers. A ringer is like, if there's a football team, like a really rubbish local football team, right?
Yeah.
But one of the guy, the best friend of the guy that drives the minibus, right? If he's got a cousin that lives 100 miles away, but he used to be semi-professional, right? He had trials for Everton, but didn't quite make it, right? If they got him down to play in an important match for that local team, even though he was from like 100 miles away, and that would be a ringer.
Okay.
So it's getting someone in who's not affiliated with that area or that team and is actually pretty good.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, I will come down.
Yeah.
As your, and I will be your ringer. And I want the round of drinks and 75% of what's in that pot.
But you don't drink.
No, I know. I would have fizzy pops.
Okay.
I'd have Pam St Clement's.
Okay.
Okay.
Should we do that?
Oh, actually, no. I'm busy then.
Oh, for God's sake!
Never mind. These things happen. Are you bothered about the Great British Bake Off?
I am a little bit, because I actually really enjoyed that. And I don't think it'll be that popular when it moves channel.
It won't. No one will watch
Top
it.
Gear, isn't it?
Yeah.
When is Mary Berry moving? Do you think with it?
I don't. I bet Hollywood does. I bet Berry doesn't.
Oh well.
Yeah, you see, that's my prediction. Anyway,
what have you been talking about tonight?
We've been talking solely about the Great British Bake Off. Literally 2 hours, 35 minutes. At the start of the show, I set myself a challenge. Can I talk about the Great British Bake Off for 3 hours? And we were flagging. We were flagging until you called in, and it's like hacky sack. You've just got that hacky sack. You saved it from touching the ground, and now we're back up in the air, and there's only 25 minutes to go. And I think I can make it past the finishing line. We're talking about Mary Berry.
Oh, okay. Oh, I need to clear things up. I did not let Caddick down.
Oh God, here we go. Listen to this romance breaking down live on the air.
Yeah, I heard him yesterday moaning.
Yep, he was moaning.
Yeah. But I shall try and make it for December if I can.
Well, let's see what happens, guys.
And did you hear him say he wants me to do 3 songs with him?
Well, this is the thing, right? Because this is for the performance ring. By the way, over half of the tickets for the December the 11th have sold out. Over half have sold out. That's months away, you suckers. What are you talking? We could all be dead. I could be dead by then. What are you going to do then? Have a wake? That's not a bad idea. If I have a wake, £50 a ticket. But the thing is, right, because people are going to come and do acts, and it's got to be more. And I'm stressing this to everyone. It's got to be more than just coming up for 3 minutes, because the venue is a limited size, so there's only so many people. There's only so many acts we can get in, and if everyone's doing 3 minutes, then we got to get like 20 acts in. So the act has kind of got to be between 8 and 12 minutes long.
Mm. But will there be like PA equipment to do stuff, like sing and stuff?
Do you think we're doing it in a field or something? Yes.
Well, I don't know.
Yes, it's a professional venue.
Okay.
It's a professional venue. Yeah, there's going to be PA, there's going to be screens, there's going to be all kinds of shiz, man.
Okay. All right, then.
Ta-ta!
Bye!
I had a brilliant idea. Yes! I had a brilliant idea for performance ring, right? we are going to try and do something never before done. This is genuinely a brilliant idea. So have a break, and I'll tell you after this.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
What we're going to do... Why was Sri Lanka calling us, of all places? So, what we're going to do... what we're going to try and do in Performance Ring, right, is, at some point, we're going to have a live phone-in. Yeah, because we hook up my computer, like we did, and we put Skype on, and we tweet, and we'll work out what time it will be during the night, so people will be aware of it. We give out the Skype number, handle... and then for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that, 15 minutes, maybe what we'll do is when we come back from the interval, there we go, come back from the interval, first 15 minutes, it'll be a phone-in. And people can phone in to Performance Ring. Might work, might not work, we don't know. That's the whole thing about Performance Ring, is that is people going to be trying stuff, and some bits of it will work and some bits of it won't work, and it's all beautiful, man. Failure is still art. You know that, don't you? You know that, don't you? Failure is still art. But Marco Pierre White's in the paper a lot recently. He seems to be having a bit of a rough old time, doesn't he? A little bit of a rough old... Don't really know much about the gentleman, but he's a cook. He seems to be having a rough old time. Well, things just got a whole lot rougher. Let me tell you. Marco Pierre Fright is the story. Diners 34 skeletons. Work on chef Marco Pierre White's new restaurant has been held up after 34 skeletons were found on the site. That's the least of his worries. A special Ministry of Justice licence could be plague pits. I like plague pits. You can still get the plague from plague pits. You know that, don't you? The plague, you can still get... My eldest is talking about the plague at school. They're all talking about the plague. And I blew his mind when I told him the bubonic plague still exists in California. There are squirrels with it in a park somewhere that have got the bubonic plague. Imagine that. Anyway, a special Ministry of Justice licence had to be obtained to safely remove the remains. The diner will be in a hotel currently being built on the... Oh, so it's not even him. It's a flippin' hotel. Sweet Lord. Still, there is reason to this. Activist Hannah West... Huh? A bone activist said, "We have had to remind the various agencies involved..." Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Activist Hannah West said, "We have had to remind the various agencies involved that ancestors of local people were buried at the hospital." Oh, for crying out loud. It's a 16th century hospital. That's, what, like 200 years ago? No one cares. Marco, 54, previously said his restaurant, due to open next year, will offer affordable glamour. And then what they've done here is they have made a menu, a goulash, they've not put that one on there, a goulash menu, to celebrate dead bodies and food. Fine dining menu. Oh, no, they have both. Starters, goulash. Scallops. Ratatouille. That's the starters. For the mains, or should that be, as it says here, remains. Beef on the bone with gravy. Dan Sales, right, is the journalist that wrote this rubbish. This is, I mean, it doesn't even make sense. When it's songs, I quite like it when it's songs. That is proper That is proper journalism. When it's songs, when it's like Paul McCartney dyes his hair, and then they do 5 Beatles songs, The Long and Winding Week, that kind of stuff. And that, I'm just making that up. They would do much cleverer ones. Help, I'm Going Bald. Again, I've literally just made that up. They would do much cleverer ones. A hard day's night. A hard day's night. There's one that's actually probably as clever as it's going to get. Anyway, but this is not journalism. Doing a menu. This is not journalism. Spare ribs, chicken in a casket. Dessert, death by chocolate. Eleanor Wigby, well done. But it was the stories about him dyeing his hair. So, baby, you can dye my hair. If you've got any suggestions of Beatles and Wings songs, we will accept Paul McCartney solo material that relates to him dyeing his hair. Live and Let Die, perfect. There we go. We're in 0844 499 1000. Hand on the die. No, it doesn't. No. Abort. Okay, let me read this. I can't read and be brilliant at the same time. What does this mean? Oh, geez, this is rubbish. Blueberried pancakes and Knickerbocker Gory. That's quite good, that one. I like that one. And then the drinks, tea and coffin. And then he's obviously just thought, I've got to write one more thing. Drinks. Bloody scary. That's rubbish. You can't just put bloody scary at the end. Speaking of bloody scary, look, there's this trend at the moment, isn't there, for idiots to go on really dangerous places and have their pictures, do selfies. Except these aren't selfies, because the photographer's taken them. Well, that one of them is a selfie. No filter and no fear. A daredevil model takes selfies. They're not selfies. Only one is a selfie. And someone pointed out on Twitter that saying something is not actually a selfie is the 21st century equivalent of saying, no, Frankenstein was actually the doctor. The monster didn't have a name. Takes selfies to new heights by posing on some of the world's tallest buildings. Russian Angela Nicolou, 23, climbs with no safety equipment, opting instead to wear a mini-skirt and heels. In no pictures does she have heels. She has trainers, barefoot. So that's a lie. That's a lie. Then she gives her 328,000 Instagram followers a regular dose of vertigo by posting stomach-churning selfies. Only one is a selfie. Like these, taken atop towering skyscrapers. It's like that picture that everyone has in their toilet of the construction men building the Empire State Building, where they're sat down having their lunch, right? Except, isn't it that? But that's not that dangerous a picture, isn't it? Because isn't it, if you pull back, they're on a. It looks like they're on a beam, and it looks like it's high above the city. It is. It's still quite dangerous. But when you pull back, there's like a floor beneath them and stuff, isn't there? It's like that Laurel and Hardy. There's a brilliant Laurel and Hardy scene where they're dicking about. How they do, idiots dicking about. Just do what you could do. The fat one should tell the skinny one just to stop it, and the fat one should kind of just do the physical labour. The fat one shouldn't do the talking. Neither of them should talk, but the fat one should do the physical labour. The skinny one should sit down. Most of their stuff will be sorted out a lot quicker. A lot quicker. The dangerous craze for taking selfies balanced on the edge of giant structures is known as roofing. It's illegal. But Moscow-based Angela claims she is rarely stopped by Russian police. And if she is, she pays them off with a load of cash because they're all bent. All of the Russian police are bent, guys. She told a magazine, "It's funny." What is Russian accent? This is Russian. I'm a Russian woman. It's funny when police catch me wearing little skirt and I smile sweetly and say, "I'll never do it again. I've done a very bad thing." They let me go. And then it became a bit Jewish towards the end there, but that's fine. They have Jews in Russia. That works. That works. Angela, an art teacher, and isn't she arty? Nice arts. Has reached the uppermost spires of the sky. Now, there's one here, right? I can't work out how she's got on this thing. What is that? What does it say what that picture is? Sky Lounge cocktail bar. She climbed past diners, tucking into £190 ago black caviar. Why are you telling us the colour of caviar? I know caviar is black. Now I don't know what she stood on top of this really tall tower, but I cannot work out how she's got there. Oh, to be honest, I can't work out why she's doing it. It's a stupid thing to do, and all these people are stupid. And when they fall to their death, don't come running to me. Speaking of falling to their death, got some bad news, guys. The UK's last human cannonball has broken his legs. How? By doing the human cannonball. I didn't think people still did that. And we should get more. When I was a kid growing up in the 70s and the 80s, there was always, on bank holidays, right, they'd always show circuses on the telly. And there's nothing more boring than watching circuses on the telly. It's the dullest thing. And they would always show it. Turns out when you go to a circus, a really good circus, for real, it's quite good. It's got to be a good one. But I'd always hated circuses because they were rubbish on the telly, but there's no atmosphere. I love a circus with a happy atmosphere. Britain's last human cannibal. Now, this is a story. This should be on the front page. This guy's an absolute flipping hero. And he's pictured here with Mr. Phipps, who's a clown. I don't think that he's going to be able to offer him much help. Britain's last human cannibal broke both his ankles when he fell short of his target. Still stood up to take a bow. Proper hero. Him and that Ebola nurse and Mel and Sue. Proper heroes. All four of them. Daredevil Shane Beer, 26, flew 30 feet at 50 miles per hour and missed his crash mat by inches, slamming into the ground from 16 feet in the air. Absolute player. Absolute player. Shane said, but the circus crowd, who'd feared the worst after seeing him crash, cheered as he stood and bowed. Shane said, my ankle smashed as I landed, but I had to stand up and give a bow because my family were in the crowd. That's proper showbiz. But when we saw, I forgot to mention this to you, Kath, or discuss this with you. The weird thing about seeing the Beatles live at Shea Stadium, by the way, Giles Martin's not got back in touch. That was a brush off, I think. We'll pursue. Is after every song, they were still, even that late into their career, after every song, they were doing a bow. Every song, Ringo would get up and they would all do a bow after every song. That's just plain weird. Occasionally when I play in bands, I do a bow after every song. Yeah, I do. As a nod to the Beatles. I don't know if anyone gets it, but I do a little bow after a song. It's good. The adrenaline kicked in, and I hobbled over to a clown and killed and leant on him. A few minutes later, the pain kicked in, and I was rushed off to hospital in an ambulance. Struth. One of the ankles is in a cast. I can't move the other one. I think that's broke as well. Shane has performed the stunt 160 times and blames himself for Saturday's mishap at Mr. Phipps's Wonder Circus in Norfolk. He said, you have to keep very, very rigid. But for some reason I went floppy. Huh? So I slowed down in the air. Well, this is the problem. If you want maximum velocity, you have got to be rock hard. And if at any moment there is any floppiness anywhere, well, then you're going to break your ankles. And I think he found that out the hard way.
Here's a message from the Haters Club, dedicated to the one I love. I've been cursed by your wicked kiss. Once felt it's forever. state of bliss, indulging in such hatefulness. I just need a prequel to redeem my evil, 'cause I wasn't always like this, seeing couples hand in hand makes it hard for me to understand. Me without you, you without me. Give me some of that misery, I'm a high hater. I run with the best like Darth Vader, and the witch of the west, poisoning apples to make you ill, like Cruella de Vil. I'll set you up for the kill. I'm jinxed with the curse. I got nothing but bad luck. Could I be superstitious? Don't blink, cross my heart, hope to die. Why's your love so vicious? I'm a high hater. I run with the best like Darth Vader, and the witch of the west, poisoning apples to make you ill, like Cruella de Vil. I'll set you up for the kill. Hater, I run with the best like Darth Vader, and the witch of the west, poisoning apples to make you ill, like Cruella de Vil. I'll set you up for the kill.
Talk Radio.